Okay, does my mic work? Headphones work? I feel like I'm having a hard time connecting today.
I don't think of nobody, only money, give it to me. They was laughing, now it's funny how they love me. I'm a motherfucking musty, you must be out of your mind thinking you could touch me. Go ahead and judge me, you'll never fucking budge me. Pockets getting pudgy, accomplishments getting fuzzy. How frequently they come and you know you not really wanted. Stop playing, bitch, you nothing. Don't make me show you, look. Fuck your anxiety, fuck your society. You should ride with me, we gon' mob the streets. Fuck the make-believe, we gon' make the peace. You just wait and see, we taking everything.
Just me and you.
All aboard!
Is that night train broadcast enough? What do you think?
all right. Holy moly. It woke me up, Holmes.
I dug it.
All right. I dig it.
Definitely awake.
I don't know how hot that was on your guys' ends, if it hurt anybody's ears.
Hot.
It was a little hot.
It was hot pink. I love it. That was really cool. Hear a little JBurn there on the intro too, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, totally love that tune. That's a good tune. I actually had a problem tonight. I was trying to pick a J. I knew I wanted to play a JBurn tune, but I didn't know which one, so I picked that one, Picante. I love it. That's good stuff all around.
Yeah, it's a good jam.
Yeah, Night Train. Everybody got their tickets. Can leave the station soon.
Make sure you retweet the space. We're giving away a laser loop piece tonight.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I remember you'd suggested that, but I think that was like late onto a Friday night, and I was likely intoxicated when you mentioned it to me.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Wednesday at work. I don't know.
Right. I'm trying to figure out if I can give away just straight Tez. We'll see, but that might be a thing.
I don't see why you can't.
We might just be giving away some straight Tez tonight too. So.
Yeah, I don't see why you can't. I mean, it only makes sense to me. Just start like making it rain Tez, right?
Yep.
We'll see. Well, all right. Cool. Well, it's been a week since we've all sat here. Thanks everybody for popping in tonight. We got Mike Nash, of course, here, our third mic. We got Daddy V Daughters, Laser Lou dude in listening. Our guest of honor, Pong, is down there. We'll definitely bring you up as soon as we do some housekeeping, my friend. My friend, I probably only talked to you once. Well, yeah, sure, we're buddies. We're friends. Tezos Art Collective popping in. Wise Sigma Toad. All right, hanging out down there. Thank you for coming to join us tonight. I mean, as usual, I'm sure we'll have others pop in. It's going to be
a wise toad, man.
Absolutely.
Also a wise ape, I guess. I don't know.
There you go. Damn straight. Damn straight. I have purchased so much in the last week, mainly those Lexi's Hearts pop art pieces that she just released. And I know you've collected a lot of those too, hey, Willie?
Yeah, I grabbed the first 14 of them or whatever they were.
I think.
Wait, what's this? I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't think.
I think you put I thought you put an offer on one of her pieces. Actually, they're really brightly colored. I could probably pin one at the top. They're really brightly colored, kind of graffiti style.
Yeah.
It's a throwback to. I think she says it's a throwback to skateboarding and.
Okay. Yeah. No, I got some of those. Okay. I misunderstood the name.
Lexus Hearts, isn't it?
Alexis Hartwell. Yeah, that's the artist. Hell yeah. It's beautiful.
Mike's been buying up all kinds of shit this week.
Mike been rolling.
He's been sweeping floors and all kinds of shit.
Oh man,
It's Christmas time. That's
it's
he's buying.
man. I got to pick up on my homie's art while Tez is under $1.
Right?
Yeah, big time, big time.
Support while the supporting's cheap.
You know,
I guess.
I was going to say that actually brings to mind what Willie and I were talking about last night. You know, y'all been seeing the, how much I spent on Tezos this year posts been that everybody's been.
Holy shit, dude! Yeah, I just went through mine. That's wild. I don't know if I should be embarrassed or excited about the Tezos that I've invested this year.
Yeah, the one thing that Willie brought up, and I thought was a really valid point, is that it was all hanging out there, and you got to see, and we don't have to name names or anything, but we got to see which artists took money out of the ecosystem and didn't put it back in. I mean, not that it's mandatory. Don't get me wrong here. If anybody wants to jump down my throat, but it was very, very interesting to see. And Willie brought that up to me last night, and then I started looking at it, and it was very interesting. I thought, I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but you're probably all going to go look now.
Yeah, it's interesting to see who just spreads the money around, who reinvests into their fellow artists or whatnot, and who just takes the money out.
Go on, take the money.
It's very clear.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess you don't have to either. I mean, I guess there isn't a rule to it, but it's a nice thing to do. I would say. I mean, I spent just what did I spend about 2,000 this year? Just under 2,000, I think, is what I spent. Who would have known? On ETH, 2,000 did not get me. Oh, I can't remember how many NFTs I have, but I know what $3,000 on ETH went really quick, and I think I had like 8 NFTs or something.
Yeah.
Cool. But it was really cool also to see the artists that, do support the ecosystem and understand that, hey, man, we got to put a little bit back in too. And there was, outside wallets too, right? I'm not an artist myself, but I definitely collect what I like when I can, if I can, 100%. And it's hard to not sometimes. It's hard to like set a limit and go, fuck. Dude, this is the second time you went to go put $100 in your wallet today. You should not. Maybe I should be an artist. I don't know.
Yeah.
JBurn said, I was on a space with JBurn hosted this morning, and he was saying, because he made 7,000 Tez, but he spent 5. So he's like, this is not good financial advice. But
that's I mean, from a collector standpoint, that's a respectful ratio. So, and a lot of artists, this is their only source of income. So that's, there's a lot of factors. It's not just cut and dry like, oh, money's flowing out of the ecosystem. It's kind of a controversial longer form topic, but
they could also have other wallets, maybe. I guess that's a possibility.
True, they could have one that's just for creating and one that's just for collecting.
Yeah,
so,
fair enough.
It's not exactly the full picture.
Yeah, that's true. But that's also part of the not. We don't need to name any names. But yeah, no, that's for sure. That makes total sense once you talk it out. And this is where some armchair internet people don't get it right, and they jump on the reactions and start like tearing people up, and maybe they shouldn't. We're not that kind of space, man. We love y'all. Don't matter how you spend your money. Yeah. I'm not asking for it, so spend it as you want.
I'm asking for one Tez from everybody, but only one Tez from everybody.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Willie. Drop that on us. Lay that down on us.
Yeah. So Friday we're gonna do a co-space with Wagme Wines and actually go into detail and have all the artists on. I think we're doing that at the same time, 9 p.m. Eastern this Friday. I don't think that's been tweeted out yet, though. So,
are we doing that? Are we doing that under WX8BK, or are we doing that under Wagme Wine? Do we know yet?
I don't know. It'll actually. but
It'll
it'll
get
be under one of those accounts. But there's a wine label contest going on, of which there are 12 artists, and I'm one of them. And Jen down there is another one, and Tezos Art Collective is another one. Um, but it's competition now, so no matter what I love of their art on the other side, now it's by my art. Support me. It's my turn to shill.
Hey, man, use the platform, right?
Yeah, we didn't build this platform for nothing.
That's right.
No, they both have some very good submissions. Um, and there honestly all the submissions are really good. But yeah, I want you to support me. So I'll pin that at the top here because I have the ability to do that.
Yeah, you give her,
And
man.
then you guys decide with your wallets who you like best.
Yeah, it's dope. It's a really cool thing that Wagney Wine's doing. And for those of you that have never heard and not been in here before, Willie and I, that's how we started this space, was basically to talk about Wagney Wine gameplay and how we were going to do that, which is also a project that by default, no matter what, even if you lose your shirt, you can still get wine delivered to your doorstep for free. Can't argue with that. Just saying, if you're a wine drinker, or you can gift it too, if you're not a wine drinker. And but yeah, they created this contest to have all these artists create wine labels, which are basically going to be game pieces in our ecosystem eventually. With the winner, is the winner getting on the wine bottles, Willie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the winner will be the next actual drop artist, and will be featured on the actual labels on the bottles. And I'm not sure after that.
And all of the artists, the game pieces that are being purchased now for one Tez are game pieces to get in and play the game. It's really good. It's a really good opportunity to get in if anybody's interested. Definitely head over to the Wagney Wine
Yeah,
Discord,
so
Twitter.
essentially there's a burn mechanic in where you need to burn pieces to get spots on a wheel to win the labels, right? And then you win the label and you can redeem that label for the physical wine, for actual wine. And yeah,
Or
so at one
or
Tez,
sell it for a grossly huge profit sometimes
for what?
for
Oh
a gross.
yeah.
I was gonna, but I mean, everything in this game has got. Now we're just getting off onto the game. Now we're going to think about this, but every game piece in this game that has either been free or very cheaply purchased has gone. What is the average X that it goes? These game pieces go up. I mean, honestly, like they've probably, well, if you're getting it at zero, I guess it's like it's infinite, right?
Yeah, a lot of them were airdropped in the beginning, and then those immediately started selling for 2-3 Tez. That's when Tez was still like $3-4 a piece too. Some of the more recent stuff, it's a good 3 to 5x easy. Just like on a shorter term hold. Some of the older stuff, 100x.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
I'm just thinking about what I paid recently to acquire that Proteon 1-1.
Yeah, well,
It wasn't cheap.
No, but you're now the proud owner of a nice. You got a couple Proteon 1-of-1s now. You're just spoiled.
Nah, it's my only 1-1. But it's also the
No,
only
but
Wagme wine 1-1
your PFP,
in the game.
your PFP is a 1-of-1.
Oh, true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
I didn't think about that because that's like part of a collection.
Oh. So yeah, long story short, these artists are in there. Their game pieces went up for sale for one Tez, and they're having a contest. So yeah, whoever sells the most of their piece to individual wallets will win, and it's a big deal. Either way, it's a big. Just support all the artists; they're all there. If you want to buy all 12, buy all 12. But Willie pinned it up at the top, I do believe. Did you? My phone just
Yeah,
shut down.
I pinned mine, but if you can I'm not going to make it easy for you to find the other artists because that would defeat my purpose. But you can easily click through that link and get to the WAGMI page. They're all there.
I was going to say you did point, if anybody was listening, that you did point out which artists are in this space. Hint, hint. Everybody's rewinding. Go back to the beginning. Listen to the train. Listen to the train horn. Listen to the train horn again.
I did.
Yeah, that was dope. Cool. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm really excited for all the artists because I mean, there's some TES to be made, right? Like, I mean, these artists also too, with every piece that's sold, right? Don't you guys? Is it 50-50 or is it?
No, it's not 50-50. It's like
that wouldn't make sense, would it? For not business.
15%.
There you go.
To us right now, but then once it gets to the label part, like whoever wins, then it'll become 50-50, I think.
And that's where it can get crazy. Well, and also, I mean, these game pieces can also sell for a lot more when the game starts kicking in, right? I mean, that's fact too. If the WAGMI Wine crew decides to make one game piece worth a little more this week than the other one, then it could potentially make more.
Yes.
Anyways, we could talk forever about that. Nowadays, we talk about the WAGMI Wine, and we also talk to all these wonderful artists as well. And that's the cool thing. Next week's guest, just while everybody's in here, and I see he's in here, well, if Fendel's in here, next week's guest is Fendel. Really stoked to have him on. For anybody that's listened to the space, religiously, like Daddy V Daughters and many others in here. I've played Fendel's music as the opener many, many times. And so next week is the time, kind of a Christmas present for me and for all of us. So make sure you set your reminders when I put that up. And check us out next week. I don't have to tell a lot of you. You're always here. You guys are all great.
And then I think the week after that, Christmas for me, my favorite rubber hose artist, Sasha Judo, I think I've all but convinced her to come on.
Is it that? I thought it was Alexis or Lexus. Pardon me.
Never mind. We're going back to the drawing board. We'll get back to you on that one next week.
Willie and I, I've been saying this every week now, but like, I mean, like seriously, we literally have to plan this shit now. We have artists that are asking us,
and we have half a dozen from Miami I still haven't even contacted.
I know, right? Like, it's nuts. We have artists that are asking us and asked us in Miami. We have artists that like we just ask and they say yes. And I mean, God bless. I mean, everybody in this community, man, it is amazing. And it makes me feel like we're doing something right, which is, I mean, it got to be. You folks wouldn't be here if we weren't kind of doing something right. It's not just for the opening song because you would have left already, right?
With JBurn, you only played one of yours as opening song.
Of course.
Why?
All right. What else do we got to talk about before we get to our special guest? Do we have anything else? Well, we were going to talk. I mean, the Twitter algorithm. We were talking about that crap yesterday. Makes no sense to me. Sorry. If we all get rugged, just look for the new space to start up right away. But it's true. Like, man, why do I don't know. It's very, very confusing. And I don't get it. And it's just like, why do I get posts like 8 hours later? Like, why do I see it 8 hours later? And why am I not seeing the stuff that I want? I don't know. It's very annoying.
And now Elon's tinkering with it, so you just gotta keep up with it now. Like, now you don't even know how to game it to get it to do what you want.
I don't know. It's confusing. I'm learning tips and tricks every day. We'll figure it out. It's frustrating. Yeah. It's frustrating. There's people whose art I buy and like all the time, and their shit never ever shows up in my feed. Right? Like, I'm always like liking their stuff whenever it's around, and then the shit never shows up on my feed. But also too, I do have to say that we have the biggest collection of shadow band fans that listen to us every Tuesday night. We have 1 million shadow band fans that are listening to this space right now. You can't see them, neither can we, but they're there. We know they're there. We've seen them. We've counted them. So, we're going to put that on the t-shirt.
We need them to retweet the space, though.
Yeah. Well, they're but they're shadow banned. It doesn't work that way,
true.
right? They tweet stuff
True.
out and it doesn't go out. Yeah, no, dude, it's terrible, and it's a shame. I mean, you know, Butternut, I guarantee you Butternut's in here right now listening to us, and he's probably in Discord right now going, I'm listening, guys. So, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
No, man, it's all good. I appreciate everybody's support that's in here tonight. Great room. JBurn popped in. You know, we got the Chick threes happening down there. Evil Janu, that's new folk. Thanks, and new faces in here. Wizard Con, thanks for coming in. I'm trying to go through all this, and Mother's in here. She popped in a little earlier. Thank you. Appreciate everybody being in here. My mouth is really dry today, and I'll be honest. I did not smoke anything before the show yet, but my mouth, I'm just like, I got horrible dry mouth today. I don't know
Probably a
what.
glass of
You
wine.
didn't smoke anything before the show yet.
That's right.
All right. What do y'all say? Y'all don't say get her done. What do you say? Do it, or I don't. What's the Canadian get her done?
I don't know. I said get her done.
No, you said something the other day.
No,
You
you
even
said
it to
something.
me.
Yeah, earlier tonight. Damn it, I
Get
can't
at it or
remember.
something.
Give her.
Give her. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh shit. Well, I'll have to. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, give her.
Maybe I did smoke something before the show. I don't even know. Am I Canadian? Holy fuck! I just woke
Yeah,
up.
give her.
What? You just give her bits.
Fuck,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it. Well, maybe that'll rectify all the problems. Cool.
Yeah.
Man. Well, you got anything else you wanna bring up? Or...
Yeah, there's everyone go check out Rexosaurus Flex's page. He's kind of going through some stuff right now and kind of needs the support of the community. And I don't, you know, I'm not sure exactly what's going on or anything, but you know, just go check out his Twitter and see if there's anything, you know, give him a hi, how you doing?
Yeah, man.
Been seeing some things come across Twitter about, you know, supporting him and I don't want to speak out of turn or anything, so go directly to his Twitter and tell him you're there for him.
All right. You know, and that's really, I'm glad you actually said that. Not just particular about that, but yeah, man, we should always mention that anytime, you know, people, if you're feeling down, you're feeling sad, whatever, you know, always reach out and always check in on people no matter what. Even if you're having a bad day, make sure you check on the people that you might have thought were having a bad day the day before. It's always very important. Super, super important. Never hurts to say hi. Never hurts to send a happy face emoji. Definitely.
Yeah, that's all free. So,
absolutely. Cool. All right.
So, yeah, that's all I got. I mean, if you want your Sam Bankman-Fried news, go somewhere else.
There you go.
I mean, he's arrested, so whatever.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah, well, we know. Let's go there. And
that's all we know.
And unfortunately, nobody's getting fucking money back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, now that we just brought it down to a lull, see, that's what it is. That was like the opening band, and we just brought it down there because we got to build it up now. I think it's about time we brought up our guest speaker. We've been hanging out here waiting to do this. We spaced it out ever since we had Jen Quantum Spirit on. We've been spacing it out. We're like, well, we don't want to have them too close together. I'm not really sure why we didn't want to have them too close together because, you know, just because they're husband and wife. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not really
I also knew Miami was coming up, and I wanted to see the Glass in person before I had him on. Not that it was going to change anything, but just like, I don't know, give me a little better perspective, a little something else to talk about. I don't think it did, other than it's awesome. Like it's really great work. But other than that, I don't know. I just thought it would be cool to see it first.
Right. Yeah. No, I dig that.
And then be able to talk in case there was like an enormous question that popped into my head about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. That totally makes sense. We usually go into these spaces knowing as little as we can about this. We don't go researching, aside from if it's somebody we collect already. But yeah, and yeah, that's a very good point. I was surprised at how big it was. But anyways, we should stop talking about how big his sculpture was and how heavy it was. Let's bring him up. Pong, you can unmute yourself and come on up. And if you want to join us, I don't know if we didn't scare you away.
Hey, what's up? I'm already here. I came up during the Canadian Get Her Done moment, so I thought maybe there was you guys might have needed a hand or something. But I missed who you were talking about, Willie. So I only heard the tail end of who we should support somebody, but I missed the actual artist name.
Oh, Rexosaurus Flexosaurus Rex.
Lex
He
Rex.
runs the Tezos vending machine. He's a pretty big staple in the Tez community.
Yeah.
So yeah, go check out his page.
Super nice of you to have people head that way. Definitely feel super appreciate everybody coming here tonight for real. Holiday PTSD is like a real thing. So yeah. Oh, I think I got a bit of a delay. That's we got an open mic.
I'm getting an echo too. Hold on.
It's all good. Somebody got a note mind? What do you do?
Hey, how's that?
Sounds
Better.
good. Sound like an airline pilot now.
Are you
Cool.
an airline pilot?
No, I'm terrified of flying though. But I think maybe if I was the pilot, I would be less afraid.
Right? I get that. I think I saw that in one of your posts. You traveled for Thanksgiving, and dude, totally. If I was steering the fucking thing, it would be a lot better. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm the same way with driving. I don't know. There's
Yeah.
probably a problem there, but I drive a lot, so maybe that's why. Yeah, my wife is laughing at me right now. I'm like, no, I got it. I'm driving 8 hours, 10 hours. Let's go. Let's do
Man,
it.
I'm right there with you. I believe in that fully and completely. I got you. That's fucking, it's, yeah, totally. Got to be in control. I'm not a control freak, just when it comes to driving.
Yeah,
I just don't
totally
trust you drive
normal.
it.
Of course.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming and in to hang with us and chat with us about you and your art tonight, man. We really appreciate it. So we usually just start off like, lay it down for us. How did you get the art bug? As a child or whatever. You can dox yourself as much as you want. You don't have to answer any questions. And if you want to talk about golf cart repair, give her like whatever. But yeah, just give us a little backstory and bring us up to your how you got into Web3.
Oh, yep, sure. Oh, thanks. Sorry, my mic wasn't unmiking or whatever. Miking, turning on. Uh, thank you guys so much for having me. Yeah, art has been a part of my life since I was a kid. The train thing definitely affected me when I heard that. I grew up in between two train tracks and like hanging out on the tracks, hopping on trains and stuff. Was a big part of like my early childhood rebellion, sneaking out at night. It was all super important, I think, to our identities as kids. And yeah, I grew up. I think I wanted to be a musician more as a kid, and that didn't really work out. I always wanted to be an artist. I had a neighbor whose father was an artist, and I think that definitely kind of influenced me. I was adopted, and to my family, which my dad was a social worker gone techie in the 80s. So, in a crazy way, super huge influence on my life, but just not the same kind of mind at all. So, I could never really keep up on that kind of stuff. I was more interested in melting my GI Joes and playing video games. Instead of trying to figure out early DOS and stuff that probably would have paid off in droves right now. But still, super big influence later on in high school. He got me into cyberpunk, and that it was very early. And I didn't really like to read anything, but for some reason William Gibson just really hit home, and so I basically just dove into everything Gibson. My wife and I met when we were young, and both were like raver club kids. We grew up right outside of New York City, and so that whole scene super influenced my life. And we were both going to Pratt in Brooklyn at the time, but I just wasn't ready. Couldn't cut it. Too much into partying. Just really didn't know what I wanted to do or my purpose was. And when that all kind of came crashing down, I found this public glassblowing studio called Urban Glass in Brooklyn downtown, and walked in. It was like a giant mad scientist laboratory, and there was a bunch of teams of artists working, and it was just cool as shit, and it checked all the boxes for me. It was like super physical, super dangerous, teamwork. So like for me, music has I've always been into music, but it's only been as a collaboration. And so when I didn't have a band or people to play music with, I just didn't play music. I'm just not, I don't know, for whatever reason. So the collaborative process was big. And yeah, I got a great jump start on that. And that was in the 90s. And if you've seen the Netflix show, it's just filled with friends, especially season one, where my first real mentor won season one of Blown Away. So it's super exciting to see her years later. She was really one of the first people to take me under their wing and train me. And yeah, I've been really lucky to have this supportive role in so many people's careers and journeys, whether they're like walk-in workshops or classes in glassworking. Um, I've helped people make work that's been in some pretty big artists' names and shows and stuff, and it's all been a really wonderful experience. It's all been really hard to find my own voice. I think early on I had a lot of support, uh, and then just a lot of drama and stuff happened. Being in the same nonprofit organization with a lot of personalities, and life took turns, and I kind of just became. There's like a small group of people that work out of the New York area that kind of just fabricate or work as assistant fabricators for other glass workers, and that has always kept me in glass while having a million other jobs, being a stay-at-home dad at times, taking care of the folks for a long time.
What does a glass fabricator fabricate? Give us an idea of something that might be made
Sure.
there.
So early in my career in the 90s, pre 9/11, there was a lot of art. Art was really big. So we had a lot of artists like Tony Orsler and Keith Smith, and even Robert Rauschenberg was one of the first big team jobs I was on. A lot of other artists who are not even around anymore have passed away or just kind of given up on their career, who are making just like kind of like these feats of amazement of like, let's try to do these things that have never really been done before. Um, so it really started off as art, and being on a team. You usually need a team of at least two. And then on the bigger stuff, it could be, at Urban Glass in Brooklyn, everybody was just really into making the work as big as they could. So, teams could be up to 10 people rotating on and off. And then after 9/11, it seemed like the art business really changed. There was a big break where we all just didn't work for a few months. And what seemed to take off was the lighting business. And so a lot of people switched gears, and lighting became most people's bread and butter, to do production lighting. Lindsay Edelman and a couple of other designers really started to lead the way, and then everybody kind of followed suit on their own size or scale. Um, so like these big orbs of different types would be a regular job for years. Some of them, if there's a particular one, you could do it once or twice a week for 2 to 4 years, and then on the side you just fill the gaps with classes and other people coming and going. That it's really expensive, especially in New York. It costs at least $1,000 a day, basically, to work a 8-hour day out of a public shop in New York City.
Wow.
So yeah,
Holy
so
shit.
you got to really be able to turn that around, and marketing and all that stuff isn't something that you learn, I think, in the same way. And the community isn't anything like it is here. So um, yeah, down the road, I eventually was like trying to get back into making my own work. I went back to school. 2019, I graduated from a local state school, built a glass shop. I got first residency uh, that was going to support me to build my own glass shop and one for them, and paid stipend, and really just started to make my own work. I learned about iron foundry work and casting, and COVID hit. Kind of lost all that and had to reset from there. And that's when I found NFTs, along with I think a lot of other artists that were pulled away from their communities. That was the longest time away from really being able to do anything, and looking really bleak, because glass blowing is like you know hygienically kind of disgusting, as it is. So it's,
Why is that?
well, we all share.
Wet balls.
Yeah, we share these. You basically blow on a giant metal pipe, like a four,
Oh,
5 foot
yeah.
metal pipe, and everybody kind of just trusts each other that you don't have anything wrong with each
Well,
other, or
isn't it hot though? Doesn't the heat kill all that shit?
yeah, sure,
Or is it
hopefully.
is it not that hot at that end?
No, not at that end. But now
Put their lip on it, Willie.
we've all substituted. It's really great now, like blood pressure pumps instead of like actually putting your mouth on the pipe is something that we use all the time, and compressed air and stuff. So it's like we've kind of erased that disgusting part of the process where you were blowing on into or on the same pipe. But that's just something you would deal with, like quietly clean it off when the other person isn't looking, if you're feeling uncomfortable, or just really have trust in your friends. It's very similar to sharing a joint that you've just watched, or if you ever smoked a blunt with a good friend, and you've watched them kind of build that blunt by licking it all over the place, and then
Yeah.
like, you're gonna smoke it, and you guys are cool. So it's a little, I don't know, that's my weird comparison for it.
Oh,
No,
really,
that's a good
really,
one.
really funny thing to jump in with that years ago I started, because it started at concerts, like, and I was like, man, I can't fucking like these. This just got passed down the row, so I started putting it in my fingers, but like my fingers only touched my mouth, and the joint was just a little ways out. Like I had to figure. Sorry, I had to jump in there and say that,
Yeah,
but
no, yeah, you could do this whole like technique where you cup your two hands together and make your own like hand bong. I forget what it's called, but it's pretty much a dead giveaway that you're grossed out by the other people you're sharing that
what,
joint
dude?
with.
You don't want to put your lips where my lips were, man. Come on.
Yeah,
No, I don't actually.
I wanted to circle back there at the beginning, like you were talking about. You met somebody you idolized on Blown Away, and like it's so crazy. Like I watched Blown Away, and I definitely can't name names, but I really enjoy that show, like totally. And it's like strange. It's not that I don't ever think about that there's obviously some people that would like to meet these people, right? I mean, I would like to meet them too, because I think glass blowing is just cool as fuck, flat out, plain and simple. But it's like, yeah, like there's heroes up there on the screen. I guess they wouldn't make a TV show out of it if people didn't like these people, but that was really cool to hear that.
yeah. I think her mo is that a lot of people don't like her also. But I actually got to know her before she was on the TV show, so that was kind of really fantastic way to see. Like, I was super excited when the show came out, um, to see her compete, and to know her so well. She actually came to Jen and I's wedding back in the day, and her wedding gift is like probably one of the most seen pieces in our house. But it's just like in our kitchen, next to the sink and stuff, in an almost utilitarian kind of way. But yeah, and then I've had a lot of other friends in and out on the show, and it has changed things because people don't understand what the hell we do, I guess, unless you've seen it. I never saw it until the day I walked into the shop, so I really was like, what the hell is going on? It wasn't something that was normal to me. So to have it like at least normalize, you know, the situation and give people a visual idea of what we do is pretty awesome. And it's definitely changed her. And, you know, it's a very niche art community, and the top 20-30 artists in there are the only ones that people are collecting. And so if you're not one of those top artists, you're struggling. So it's great to see somebody that I know has been working their ass off, and dealing with all the gender issues that they've had to deal with since day one. You know, I could see it, and to see them get success above what the normal level is awesome. So I'm super happy for her. I'm not really like in the day-to-day shop with her anymore, but yeah, it's like yeah, it was pretty. I watched the show pretty much straight through, and my family was like, all right, enough already.
It was one of those shows I had to watch on my own time. Had to record it and watch it
Yeah,
later.
I watched the first season in like one sitting though. Like
Yeah.
I blew through the whole season. Like just sat down and watched all of it. It was awesome. I loved it.
God bless binge watching. It's really funny you
Yeah.
brought up the gender thing. I mean, I guess it exists everywhere. I mean, the reality is I'd be ignorant to say that I don't realize that basically, the gender thing can always pop its head up in anything, whether it's sports and art or business or whatever. But that's because, and I just kind of caught me off guard because every glass blower that I personally know, which is only 3, but it's probably more than a lot of people know. They're all females, and they're it's I never really thought about that. I kind of thought they would be. That was what you were saying earlier, right? Like in the glass blowing.
Yeah. In Brooklyn in the '90s, it still was very, I don't know, misogynistic to say the least, I guess. And it was just, I think it was just a different time. But even the terminology, everything we laugh and joke about it because it is pretty funny. Um, but it's all
like,
patriarchal.
like the glory hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And so like I work with a place in New Jersey that's it's basically an after school program for inner city kids there, and we try to reterm some things to be a little softer, like the reheating chamber. Why don't you just go take that to the reheating chamber?
Into the
But
fire. Oh fuck.
it slips out all the time.
Yeah, and all you need is one little jerk like me in there, and that's it. We were having a good day at school until Fitz opened his mouth.
Yeah, well, we have a 16-year-old son, and I had to go over the terms with him, and him looking at me, looking at him, looking at me, we realized what each other knew in our
Yeah.
lives.
I know you know. I know you know that I know.
That was when I realized my boy was all grown up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
the mustache didn't convince me.
So now you bopped into the NFTs. I mean, you've had some ups and downs like 9/11. Like the fact that things changed. I mean, that's why. Is it because of where you live that it was really affected the glass
I don't.
blowing,
I just
or
think it was a combination of things, and that's my time marker for how life changed. I guess. Yeah, I don't know if it was just that one factor. That just seems to be where and I think other people all remember. Like some people started making a lot of money selling lighting, and it just started to catch on. And then everybody else realized, like, oh, I can make a big ball of this type and put it on a chain and sell it for X amount of dollars, and that kind of snowballed from there. One or two designers took off, and everybody followed suit. Um, and we were all happy. Like for me, a day of glass blowing is like a day of skating or a day of jamming. You know, being on the drums for a band or whatever. So even if it's not my own work, I'm usually pretty excited, and you're going to get 100% of my effort to make sure that your project goes well, and I'm in for it until I can figure out how to get my own day.
That's passion. Right there, folks. Take that sound bite and listen back to it again, man. Like that's passion. That's rock and roll. That's punk rock. Fuck yeah. So now so the pieces so now when you're doing your NFTs, I mean, obviously, I've seen your pieces, that your collaborations that you've done with Laser Lou, and for anybody that's never seen those collaborations, you're just missing out. I'll just say it flat out, and you better go look it up right now. But don't leave the space. Keep listening. So, like a lot of your stuff is all of your stuff your NFTs, and forgive me for being ignorant, for not totally knowing, but are all of them? Do all of them have the AI backgrounds, or is some of that real photography that you're doing?
Yeah, no, some of it's real photography, mostly in the summer when we travel a little bit to Maine, and visited my mother at the Jersey Shore, took some images down there. So, um, but the AI stuff has been for a while. If it's not Lou's lasers, I started trying to mess with 3D, and Chidzo. I don't know if you guys know him. He's an artist that's been around for a while. He introduced me to AI pretty early on, and just got sucked into the whole thing, Google Colab, and the direction just seemed more viable for myself than like trying to be a 3D artist on the side. So yeah, and a lot of it, like I just tried to use for the color source and stuff, and super influenced by, I think, my algorithm, having these parallels of digital artists and glass artists that seemingly sometimes are making very similar things and ideas, and not even knowing that the other, you know, uh, worlds exist, or caring even. I think a lot of the glass blowers I know, even if their work might look like something somebody digitally made, they don't know or care. But I feel like that's starting to change a little bit now too, and everybody having a lot of time home on the internet, for a year or so, probably changed that for a lot of people. So, but I'm just, yeah, I'm excited to be making kind of my own thing in my own lane right now. I feel like for me that's the most exciting part, is that I don't have to make lighting, and I'm not trying to make pumpkins for Halloween or Christmas ornaments to survive um, the holiday season, um, or whatever it is on the other side in the art world.
It's
Sorry.
working. It's working really well together, for sure. Like I think it looks great, and that's really cool that you're carving your own niche, I guess it is, in glassblowing. I was really impressed, and we said it earlier, and I'm going to say it right now. I was really impressed at the size of the being, like that. Laser Lou had one there in Miami, and I was impressed with it. I didn't pick it up. I should have asked to pick it up because I wanted to feel how heavy it was. But man, like I was like, dude, I thought these things, for some reason, I thought they were small, and that doesn't make any fucking sense at all, really, honestly. But now that I've seen it and I get it, I'm like, no, it wouldn't be little tiny.
Well, because we know a lot of Lou's setups are a lot smaller than they look. They're a lot more compact than they look. He's putting a lot into a small space, so we know he's working out of the closet.
Sorry, this is a bad
Um,
me laughing here.
so yeah, I
What you're
was very impressed by
saying,
the
what
size
you're
too. There's
saying is,
so much innuendo. I'm having a hard time keeping it professional.
so
I'm
so
sorry.
what so what you were saying is that Laser Lou's small setup is what made Pong's being look large.
No,
I'm okay with that. We can go with that. I'm all right. I like to know that my being looks bigger in Laser Lou's closet. If
No,
you
I
want
was
to put
saying
that
that
on, that's recorded
that
now.
might be why you thought it would
you go.
be smaller.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. That's my point. And I'm sorry if we offended. Nobody dropped out. We're probably going to gain more listeners now because of that, maybe. But
Lou, you're always welcome to come up and defend anything I say. I don't mean to ever say anything out of turn.
nah, shit, dude. Lou's larger than life, though.
Well, I didn't get to go, but I love seeing how they displayed Lou's work at Basel in Miami, whatever you guys were doing down there. That is how I've pictured it, where he's on one side of the room and then it's projected on the other side. In the taking over the space like that is pretty freaking awesome. So it's my dream to kick that to like the highest level with Lou. Uh, we might be moving at a little bit of a slow speed. I don't know. For sometimes some things, I think like I've made more work in the last 2 years than I've made in the 25 years of glassmaking. So I feel like I've done a lot, but I also am surrounded by people that make me feel like I'm not doing enough, which is good because it keeps me, at least on my toes instead of just rolling into a ball because it's a bear market or whatever and calling it quits. And I'm super lucky to have the support of my wife, Jen, down there, who was really, really killing it. If you guys weren't following, she had this crazy Tezos weekend. So if you're looking for the investment in our family, uh, my money's on Jen still. My passion's still here. I'm gonna keep going, but I just know, like, I feel like she's gonna hit it pretty big before I do, and I'm maybe riding the coattails a little bit. That's okay.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
nope, nothing.
They're good coattails to ride. She's yeah, we really enjoy her stuff. She's killing it.
Yep, absolutely. I got some sad bears. I've got some gothic rain. What else do I have? No, I'm not even going to guess. I'm not even going to try to think about what I have. I'll mix up everything. But yes, definitely check her out. That's actually a good segue to mention to people in here. Hey, if you look in here, check everybody out. Give everybody a follow in here. There's some definitely great people in here. I know a lot of the people in here are already following and collecting and vibing with people that are in here. But we always have great, amazing artists and collectors in our space. And most of the time, it is well worth it to follow the people in the space for sure. Just wanted to kind of throw that out there as a little break. If you wanted to go get some popcorn or some pop from the
I did pin a couple of Lou's posts up at the top that show that what do you call it? It has a name. The
I thought
glass
it was
pieces.
bean. I think I
The
just call it bean,
bean.
but I'm putting words into the artist's mouth. Is that
Oh,
what the calls it?
does it
I
have
don't.
a name?
Well, I'm sorry.
The
Are you
bean,
breaking
does
up
it
a
have a
little?
name?
They're called beings, and then our collabs are called laser beings.
Laser beans instead
Yeah,
of beans. I like
no,
it.
yeah, beings.
Yeah.
BEING.
Who made the laser beans joke today on Twitter? Ash, I don't know who that was, but there was one up there today.
I don't know.
Maybe you missed it. Yeah, it was beans, laser beans, not being.
I've wanted to do that on Tezos for a
Yeah,
while, to be
you're just
honest.
gonna drop a bunch of little
Like laser beans.
glass beads, a whole bunch of little glass beads all over the place. These are beans.
I've threatened to break some stuff, and I think I kind of need to. I just need the right slow mo camera person. I'm not sure if my phone's going to really cut it. So I actually have. I don't want to give it totally away, but I have a couple pieces. I'm waiting to find somebody that can help me with a really good slow mo camera for some glass explosions. I think
Oh,
be great.
I was gonna say I've got a hammer or a 50 cal, whichever one of those you might want to use. I could help there.
Uh, I'm scared and interested in the 50 cal. I've done the hammer, hot and cold. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when you do it to the hot glass when it's kind of setting up. It can crack it, but still, not totally be destroyed. You can kind of melt it back together. But the gun I haven't seen yet. I've seen a ceramic artist that you know shoots their work basically and then fires it, and that stuff's pretty awesome. I don't know,
Yeah, they don't let us do that out in California, so we'd have to go to a less regulated state like Texas. When we meet in the middle of the country in Texas, and we can shoot whatever we want out there.
You can shoot stuff in
look at
California. Come on, we hear about it in the news all the time.
Yeah, but they don't
yeah,
like you to do that in ranges and things like that out here. The ranges are really tight and
I was
shady
yeah.
for
I was
sure.
pissed off. My
Or at glass shops.
my bits profile just dropped out of Twitter there, and I missed it. We were talking about smashing shit. Like that was probably the most manly part of the show. Damn it! I'll have to listen to it later. Show is recorded, just for anybody listening. If you want to go back and verify some things, listen to the train whistle I played at the beginning.
Okay, quit pushing the train.
What's your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing to make?
Right now, it's probably my beings. Before that, as far as blown glass goes, I usually make work that has like a inner fold called a Roman ring or Risdi ring, and that's to everyone else's probably annoyance. I've made that in my work for a very long time.
Do you have an example of that in a tweet somewhere, maybe?
Yeah, I could try to dig. I'm afraid to go digging around. Sorry, that's why I haven't posted anything yet. But yeah,
Well,
if you look at
I'm
Lou's
I'm
posts, I think we
I'm trying
got
to dig
yeah.
for you.
Yeah, I don't post most of my much of my regular glass blowing stuff. You'd have to go back to old world Instagram or something probably to see that. Every now and then I might just throw one in, but um, mostly it's the beings, and then just kind of anything solid sculpture. Some of my uh, biggest influences were artists that were doing solid sculpting glasswork is not as popular. I think it's getting a little more popular, and now the lamp working world, which the pipe working glass making world, is kind of its own circle, and I'm on the other side of Venetian furnace glass. So they're kind of two different worlds, but the sculptural stuff is really starting to combine them because the techniques really bridge the gap of the two worlds. So that's what's always really interested me. I think deep down inside, I've always wanted to be able to portray realism to some degree, and I've been using these being sculptures with the flat faces to kind of take my time to slowly just have I don't always have a lot of time to make a piece, so I know I can do those in an hour, and it just gives me a little chance to work on a figurative sculptural piece. I'm hoping to take it to the level where I can get maybe some portraiture going, but in my own style. Right now, there's a few artists that are making blown glass uh, realistic work that's never been done before. In
Portraiture, like almost like you would like a brass bust.
yeah, very simple, or marble. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow,
So
that sounds pretty cool.
That sounds out of this world, man. That sounds impossible.
I would think you would use a mold. Use a lot of molds in glass blowing.
yeah, you can, but still hand sculpting stuff uh, has got a long tradition. It's just I think the detail would stop at some point, and now that we have all these specialized torches and you know in cahoots with tool makers all the time, people have learned to like make a bubble and sculpt the inside and the outside of it, and that's really changed things, and to use these specific torches to get heats that um, you really wouldn't get before the last 30 years, 40 years maybe, or just wasn't getting the crossover. I mean, there's still stuff that was made over
Because
1,000 years ago that people are trying to recreate because it's so technically um, tough
Is
and beautiful, you know?
is that because you can get like modern technology says that you can get higher heat in like a handheld torch kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah. The you
Is that
know,
kind of what you're getting at?
yeah, studio equipment has improved um, to such a level where yeah, you can have different ovens and torches and hand tools to help you do stuff that people weren't doing to the extent that they started to do. You know, since basically we got the Italians to come over to America in the '60s, and Dale Chihuly and a whole bunch of other artists of that day convinced these maestros that were never allowed to share their secrets before that we're going to open up the secrets to be more of a world community, and that kind of created the glass movement that has led to the Netflix show that we know today. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, alongside of that has been a movement of people making tools and torches and studio equipment that if you're a glassblower, you appreciate them to the highest level of what they're doing, because it could really make a difference in the process to allow you to. Some of these pieces can take 4 to 6 hours long to make when you're trying to go into like realistic detail. And it could be over several days where you're making components and adding them back, so you're having different ovens that are holding components, and uh, you know different torches that you need to be specific heats so that they attach things and they don't get it too hot or not hot enough. And yeah, so all that stuff is a big part of the technology alongside of the craft movement is what's super interesting to me, and definitely being a part of that for myself and others. I've been calling everything future craft. We have a small community called Future Craft that is just about people bridging the gap between traditional art and technology, and then hoping to also make that an avenue for people to do that in reverse, that are purely digital, and open them up to physical and traditional experience, taking a 3D artist and teaching them to print out their work and do a traditional casting out of it in some other medium of glass or ceramic or metal. That whole idea is something really important to me. So
Yeah, that sounds
Man,
cool.
working with glass sounds stressful. But you're therapeutic to you, right?
Chihuly is the only glass artist that I know by name. Just fun fact, I
yeah, I mean he's pretty much the number one guy, and it's kudos to him. It's super cool what he's done, and he's definitely taken it to a crazy level that I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it wasn't for him. And there's so much more to his story that people don't know. I feel like there's a new special coming up somewhere about his story, and if you're into it, it he's got an amazing life story, and he's done so much for others. He's made a school out in Washington State, and it's like this crazy place in the middle of the woods that glassblowers go to for 6 sessions every summer, and there's 4 to 6 different classes running with different maestros in their field, or you could there's sometimes beginner and mid-level classes too, but basically it's like a 2-week intensive, um, just with all other glass blowers, and it's like you get like 6 months of you feel like you get 6 months of experience out of those 2 weeks. It's a crazy place
guess.
that he built. It's been going on for years, and
I
so
pictured
great,
that
great story.
when you laid that down there. I pictured like there'd be like drums playing in the background while you're all working out there doing the glass.
Definitely tunes. There's definitely tunes. I'm sure there's been drums there before. I was Deborah Sheresko's TA there in '98 and '99. And my parents sent me a travel guitar, one of those little skinny travel guitars, and we definitely had a lot of fun, and we're like singing, teaching, and helping people for the rest of that session. So yeah, it's a great place. There's a bunch of other schools like that around the country and around the world, and that's something that I also like. I love, what some of these conferences are kind of a little bit like that, but I would love to see them be more like those kind of experiences than just like I don't know. NFT NYC sometimes is just a big party, it seems, which is cool too.
Got to go to NFT NYC then. Cool. Willie, you're back in?
Yeah,
Got booted out.
I couldn't hear you, but I've learned to keep the closed captioning on so that I can know when I can't hear you or anybody else for that
Cool.
matter. So
I see a lot of juggling in the space, so thank you everybody that's coming and going and coming back.
Yeah. So we love the Twitter spaces. They run flawlessly.
yes, always flawless with the Twitter spaces.
Hey guys, what up?
Hey Mike,
What's up, Pong? Oh my gosh, man!
What's up, Mike?
Talking about NFT NYC, what a phenomenal experience, man! And I got to handle your your work for the first time last Art Basel, which was this time last year, and then getting to meet you in New York, and then I hadn't seen this. Uh, I think you call it like a glass rainbow. I saw it as a wave, and I was just gonna ask you about that.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, that's just like the idea stemmed from Jen, my wife down there, who was making rainbow filters for her Polaroid pictures, some of her earlier NFT stuff, and yeah, I'm like still desperate to get my wife's attention, and so I was like, I'm gonna make my own rainbow filter, I think, and the piece has kind of evolved itself. I'm trying to avoid using color in my glasswork, other than getting it through photography or AI or whatever. So yeah, so I kind of made one or two, and then it evolved itself, and I just started using it. In I have my own little laser Lou inspired setup at home that sometimes is just one monitor, and sometimes I have what I'd like a disco floor uh, for another monitor for my second setup, so I can display something coming from the bottom and something behind it. Basically, is what I'm doing for most of my work. Sometimes messing with that in Procreate afterwards.
so that's how you're doing your images. You're generating an AI as a background on a monitor and then capturing a photo of that with the glass in front of it.
Yep, pretty much. Don't tell everybody.
Dude.
I'm not sure if I should tell everybody.
Because this
Everybody
was a
knows
question
already,
I
or
was gonna
how
ask at
people
some
feel
point was how
about
do
it.
you do that? Because I'm like, well, are you photoshopping in the glass later or so? Okay,
So
that's
yeah,
really
yeah.
interesting. That's
I
cool.
basically started with Photoshop. I kind of suck at it. I'm not like a Photoshop person. Then I moved to a projector with a backdrop, and that was cooler and better. And then I still felt like I had to get in there and Photoshop a lot of stuff around. And then I just started shooting with the monitor basically, and a mirror on um, the mirror monitor combo really just started to pop on my better monitor.
I'm just
Even
I guess I'm just surprised you're capturing such a clean image off of a monitor.
Yeah, so if you turn the wrong angle, there's some work I left that just has dead giveaways that I was kind of hoping somebody would call me out on every now and then. But um, some of it I burned, some of it, maybe a couple pieces sold like that have the dead giveaways, and sometimes I'll take those dead giveaways and mess with them, like uh, move them around in Procreate uh, or Photoshop or something like that. But if you shoot straight on and you have a 4K monitor, it's pretty clear. And then I just do a little bit of post-production work
Okay.
in Adobe, or even on the phone. Sometimes I like to be able to crop and look at it on my phone. I'm hoping to step up to a real camera one day, but I'm not even sure if
Man,
that'll be necessary.
I
I
shoot
love
everything
the
on an iPhone.
I love this behind the scenes shit. Like I love hearing about how things are created, and sometimes the most simplistic things that people do to get the effects that they get out, right? Like that, just, yep, put a monitor behind it. A 4K monitor, I might say. Yeah, fancy dancy.
It's not even fancy anymore, right?
Did you say
The,
fancy
the
dancy?
yeah, I was trying to get
Uh,
him out of that.
oh boy,
That's a
I,
Canadian. That's a Canadian term.
I love you, man.
It's a Canadian
I
term.
love you. Dude.
Uh,
No, I think that's awesome. I think it's like another whole level of production to feed an image through a digital output to capture an analog production. That's to me adds a hell of a lot of value. I think that's awesome, dude.
Thanks, Mike. I'm pretty excited. Now I'm taking those images and I'm giving them back to the AI, which is super fun too. So to get any of my images like kind of reinterpreted by an AI has been exciting. And then sometimes those go back into the background now too, so it starts to become a bigger loop that I'm working on.
See, I love that, Mike. That's why we have you on here. I said fancy dancy, and then you came right in there with, turning digital to analog and back and forth, man. That's why we got you here, brother.
Hey man, I'll dance as fancy as you'll let me.
Dude, I love it. I kind of like, it's really cool because I mean, we've had Lou on as our guest, and Lou's supported us and come back and chatted with us many, many times. And I think it's kind of cool how, there's a little that crossover there that you guys have, not only collaborating together, but also the fact that you kind of you've said you've taken some cues from him about the monitor and the mirror and everything like that, which I think that's so dope. Like that's if that's not working together and taking advantage of the great minds around the space, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I mean, a 1,000,000%. Lou has changed my career, if not my life, since meeting him and collaborating with him. I think, um, you know, I owe Lou the lion's share of my good fortune here with my work in 21 because, uh, Lou already had a lot of people following him and supporting him, and so, you know, definitely he, hooked me up for real in so many different ways. Just, beyond being an influence, and there's a couple other glass workers that are super quiet and don't really. I don't know. They're just doing their own thing, but I'm super influenced by how a few people have been taking images of their work, and then like when I found like uh, 5 times no and fuck render, and I was just like, yeah, like those guys. I'm always trying to. I really want, I really want to recreate a 5 times no piece one time, with 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 my glass and photography, and so yeah, super. I feel super lucky to be here. I just hope we all figure out how. I love the. I think one of the first things I felt like the message was the decentralization of us all kind of lifting each other up, and I definitely feel that difference in the way people have shared information here as opposed to the other art community that I've known for so long, in which you would, your best friend would rather cut off their leg than introduce you to their gallery contact is usually the case. But here it's like, no, look,
or
hey
or if they
man,
come
your
if they come up with
marketing's
a new
wrong.
technique, they're not sharing that with you.
Yeah, well, no, actually, it's different. Like in the shop, we're sharing everything. We're sharing technique. You're usually paying for a class along the way, but that's kind of worth it. But all those things are much more open than Like, this is what you have to do to survive. This is how you market yourself. This
The
is
business end.
Yeah, the business end is out the window, and so people being so open with that here, and yeah, that's been super helpful to me because I need that like smacked over my head 24/7 still.
It's been echoed in our spaces here personally. We've heard that over and over and over again about the support. And well, I mean, Willie and I see it as well, because I mean, there's lots of people on here that don't have to come and talk to us at all, man. They got enough followers and shit going on in their lives that they don't have to, but they love to take the time. And we hear it over and over again about artists getting help from other artists who flat out tell them, no, here's how I do this, and here's how you can do this, and do this. Like it's a big thing in this space.
Yeah. There, I think it was an interview with AI Joe or someone in the last week or so, and then someone else came up from the audience, and it was like brand new, and like they just gave them some really basic information in the middle of his interview, and it was like it was all cool. It was like this is how we do it. So, you know, appreciate that kind of stuff that goes on here for sure.
I think the world could kind of take a cue from us then, I think is what we should say, man. The world needs to be a little more like Web3. Tezos. I guess not all of Web3.
Not all of
Yeah, just
Web3.
not Solana, right?
There's
If
I
anybody's
mean,
a Solana maxi out there.
you're on ETH as well, but I was going to say then there's those ETH snobs. But you're a multi-chain artist as well, right? You're digging in there all over the place.
Yeah, mostly and Tez, and just like a dozen pieces on Solana. And I'd like to maybe be on more stuff, but yeah, like the whole like you got to wear many hats. You have to be consistent in this and that way. Like it doesn't work for me. So I stopped trying, and I'm just like when the art comes, the art's gonna come, and I'm trying to be more consistent on my business and get other things together. But when I try to force that creativity, it just fails. So I don't know if I can conform to all those things. So I think in that is like where I'm searching for that other. You know, I hear it's out there. That there's people that are art manager types that I think I'm hoping to find that person one day that I can just really be my true artistic self. Aside from I still want to be involved in helping other people make work, but uh, I'm sure most of the artists here would agree that it would be nice to just figure out a way to create and let somebody help and figure out that back end business management to keep the wheels moving and keep the creation going.
I think I got a new line item to my resume. Art manager. I'll have to get working on that.
DMs
Dr.
are
Will,
open, bud.
there you go. Who was that? When we were in Miami, it was Butter.
Dude, do you want to be my agent, homie?
Of course.
I need an agent, man. I bet 90% of the artists in this space need an agent for various reasons. That's I don't know. It's worth something to me.
If I had the slightest idea of what I would think I was doing, then I would absolutely do it. But I don't even know where to start.
We just made Willie's wife our
But I know
AR.
who to talk to.
We made our Willie's wife our AR department in Miami, and we didn't even know what the fucking AR department was, but we're like, well, she's our
I still
AR
don't.
department. Mike
Well,
Good
Nash,
that's
thing we don't pay her
our
very much.
artist in repertoire.
that's right. Artists and rep, they're the ones that kind of guide, right? They guide the way the product.
Well, finger on the pulse, like understand the market and the culture and the industry. Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of fancy dancy shit the kids want these days?
There you go.
I said,
No,
Well,
not
she
not
does spend a
not
lot of
here.
time in the moment, though.
I can feel it. If I'm gonna say it at the supermarket or something, someplace inappropriate, it's gonna come out now.
What, fancy dancy?
fancy dancy.
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta work on this. No, I love you.
Wait, we don't like fancy dancing now? I'm confused.
I'm gonna say
No,
it all.
I'll dance fancy with my silver buckled slippers and my tight shiny pants. You know, like whatever you got.
Stay tuned for WXAPK After Hours. Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, that was a crowd going.
Now that's fancy dancing.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Fucking right. Let's get it done.
Okay.
Go ahead, Willie. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So back to our guest. So just taking it back to Pong's large stuff. We were supposed to ask you about your big truck. Mike Nash said you got a big old truck.
Sorry, excuse me.
I was smoking one.
Not only is the funny thing with my glass is that early on I was trying to give one away in like a raffle, and someone declined and thought it was going to be too big for their house. They thought it was life size. A couple people thought were expecting my work to be life size, but nobody. Yeah, so I appreciate the compliments on that. And we have a big family wagon of sorts that I drive around the city, maybe a little too fearlessly because of 25 years of driving in and out of New York turns you into a special breed of human taxi-like.
Dude, like a freaking boss, man, like a boss, and this thing is like straight up zooted out, like mafiosa style, and Pong's like taking us everywhere in the city, pulling up on the curb, doesn't give a shit about paying any meters or any freaking fire hydrants or anything, man. I mean, like a boss, dude, and nobody messes with this guy. I mean, it was like we were being escorted, by I don't know, like some embassy or something. It was amazing.
The Pong Embassy.
I'm glad you guys took me up on the offer. Yeah, it's a Yukon XL, and the first year I offered a bunch of people didn't. The group was like, nah, we're cool. We'll take Uber and this and that. I'm like, but I got this huge car. Let me drive you guys around.
I always find that funny, the Yukon XL, because isn't that basically a Suburban?
Yes.
Right? Like,
yeah, but it's much better, dude. The GM freaking like the trim that comes on a GM is like classy.
Also correct.
Like Chevrolet, it's a little neckish.
Chevrolet's the working man's.
Gotcha.
And GM is the boss.
Fuck yeah. All right. I love big vehicles, like hands down. I got to buy a Suburban because I needed it at the cabin to move people around, and I was so happy when I finally had a fucking reason to buy one, because I'm single guy, maybe have a girlfriend, my dog now, like that's it, right? You don't need a fucking Suburban to drive around the hood. I mean, I'd love to, but when I got to buy one, I was so happy. I don't have it anymore. Now I'm sad. But anyway.
See, but as a country guy, when Mike was first talking about this big truck, I'm thinking at least it's got like 6-inch lift, 33-inch tires. I'm not just thinking like a big old
dude. This
boat.
thing is like murdered out. It's all black. It's like it's got illegal tint. I mean, just think about like the best like limousine experience, and then just think that that's like an outhouse, and then you've got it.
Jesus.
Murdered
out.
Right before COVID hit, it was a great thing, and then COVID hit, and I was like, okay, well we got this one. We're gonna hold on to this one for a while. But
and now we got nowhere to go.
Yeah. No. The whole plan was, well, it's been great. It's part of the whole like I don't fly thing. We drive a lot, so we can put the whole family in there. We've towed a bunch of stuff, and the goal is to have like a mobile glass blowing studio one day. That's what my residency was for. So the truck initially was kind of part of that, but unfortunately the funding for that went away. But I'm still hoping, um, to pick up on where that left off at some point.
So do you
mean,
have your own studio now, or are you still working out of
No.
the one you were
Yeah.
talking about earlier?
No. One of my good friends set up a shop, a private shop over COVID. So because of that, and I helped him a bunch, but he still had to do most of the real hard work and get it all there together. It gave me a safer place to work, where it was just the two of us and like one or two other friends coming and going instead of like a whole
Okay.
community where Urban Glass is, in the middle of Brooklyn. And people did start working there eventually. I just did my first day back there since 2019 or even earlier, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And now, there's no mask mandate or anything, but for a while it was still, you know, a lot of COVID safety rules were in place, and they were only allowing so many people in, and everybody was working with masks on still, and which I'm not opposed to. I just find it makes it like an 8-hour day of glass blowing with a mask on. I'm gonna I'm gonna be needed a stretcher to be
Yeah, it's
taken
hard
out
enough
of.
to breathe
Yeah.
in
So
there, anyways, right?
yeah, so mostly I've been at the private shop, a little bit at the Glass Roots in Newark, um, and just that's been great because it's allowed me to just trade time with my friend, and I've made more glass in the past 2 years of my own with all this stuff, um, than I normally would have done. So uh, it's been good. It's a little different, and I'm hoping to kind of 50-50 get back to being a part of the community out of New York again. But also I don't miss the commute. Commute is pretty tough. So um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping that we set up our own shop. The goal is in Maine one day, after our kids graduated high school, college-ish years, to set up a shop up that way.
So
Uh,
when you're talking mobile, when you were talking the mobile shop design, uh, so you were going to do that in the truck, or were you going to have a trailer that you had built for that?
Oh no, definitely trailer. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Horse
yeah,
trailer is like the perfect size
yeah.
to start on. Yeah,
Sure.
the
And the
truck's
horse
not
trailer.
that big. It's
Yeah.
not that much bling. It's
Well,
got some bling, but
that's what I was wondering. Well, I thought, okay, all right, the kiln's gonna like roll out because you can't really like be heating inside But yeah, cool. Uh,
yeah,
like
yeah.
an
It's a
overlanding
trailer,
rig
and
for
you can.
glass blowing.
Yeah, there's all different levels of mobile trailers going right now, including
yeah,
the Corning Museum, which has one that looks like Optimus Prime. Uh, his trailer, like it's pretty much the way that trailer would open up in the '80s. Their glass blowing trailer opens up that way, like a big clamshell, and there's a whole
that,
studio in there.
that's awesome. That's my jam. I'm actually a heavy duty trailer mechanic, and doing custom shit when I get to do it is that's my jam. It's like, so when you said that, I was like, ooh, a trailer.
Oh shit! Yeah, well, yeah. There's a great company in Alabama called Mobile Glass Studios or Mobile Glass Blowing Studios out of Mobile, Alabama, and you should check those guys out because they're probably all their customers, or half of them are probably looking for custom trailers.
Dude, that's so funny. I'm just sitting here earlier in the space when I said how it's like I never really thought that, on Blown Away, well, I was naive to not think that people would admire those people. And then, like, right now, here I am talking trailers. I'm like, oh, trailers. Let's talk trailers. I want to talk trailers.
In the South, we say mobile.
Mobile.
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
There you go. Thanks,
I've always
Mike.
heard
I wasn't
mobile.
really sure.
Yeah, it's a Mobile, Alabama. Yeah.
Yankee.
No.
Well, I'm blown away. There's a whole company that makes glass blowing trailers.
No, they make mobile glass shops. There's not a trailer company yet, but there's several companies that make mobile setups now.
What's the difference between a mobile setup and a trailer? How are they hauling it around? How is it mobile?
Oh well, you put the equipment in the trailer yourself usually, and that part's up to you. You can rent a mobile shop and put it in your garage and roll it out into your driveway for a day or bring it to the museum for a week. Um,
Right. So it's
you know,
just easy to set up and tear down, and it's
yeah, it's a
easy
20.
to do.
You could
Yeah.
do it in 24 hours basically. Set up, tear down anywhere.
Okay.
So some of them leave it in there. Some people take the trailer and they make the trailer like break out so that they can have the shop still be in the trailer, and that gives you like a landing location. And other people, you just use the trailer to cart the equipment around.
That still seems very niche. But
Oh,
then,
it is. You only
we
have to
have
so many.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
there's
have
only
wine
so many
trailers that
renters you can hit in your area,
right.
which
It's also
seems to be a popular location for some of yeah. I don't know. It's the butt of most of my glass blowing jokes. Sorry.
Bunghole's not the butt of most of your jokes?
It's glory hole. It's
Or
not really
glory hole?
bung hole.
Sorry. Bunghole's a wine term. Sorry.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
getting my industries mixed up. Because I was gonna say something about
Is that really a
mobile
wine
trailers
term?
for yeah. The bunghole is the hole in the middle of the barrel.
Sure, it is.
Where you put your bung.
It's where you put the bung.
Of course.
Man,
Yeah.
I got to take notes on this. We're gonna have the most R-rated space without saying anything bad ever. We're gonna do this one day. It'll be fun. I don't know.
This is it.
We've been doing a pretty damn good job tonight. While I still think respecting the art,
I
honestly.
know because the record button is on. I'm holding back some
Yeah,
information.
no,
So
that's cool. I like
there's
that.
an after hours after the after hours space.
Yeah, it's the after hours. After
After
hours is still recorded.
NYC in person.
there you go.
There you
That's
go.
Yeah,
goals. That's goals. That's IRL
yeah,
utility right there.
full all out.
That's
No
IRL.
background.
Speaking of utility, do you ever blow like one pieces and then sell the NFT to sell the piece itself?
Yeah, just a little bit. We've done it with Laser Lou. That was like probably my biggest sale. I don't know. Um, Back when ETH was at a pretty high number, we sold a laser being for 2 ETH with the being attached, and the person who bought it changed their persona to that picture and that name, Stargazer. So that was pretty awesome. And I've raffled off uh, one other to my regular being holders. And the raffle winner was approached by another being holder like right away, and they worked out and negotiated a sale from that, which was pretty cool. And then I sold one of the rainbows or the loops. I think I started calling them loops that I took a picture of over the summer, attached to a Tezos NFT for 350, I think, Tezos, which was it was those are like a little less I don't know, not valuable, but personal. Like the beings, I start to get like kind of. I don't want to let them go as easily because they're like my 3D assets. Where the rainbows, I know I actually can reproduce those kind of quickly. So that was really nice because Laser Lou had actually bought the NFT, and I had like some deal that it wasn't gonna like if you bought it at this level, I'd break it and send you a video, or if you bought it at the next level, he's coming up as I'm telling a story about him. He bought it at a lower level where you didn't get the piece, but then somebody offered that they wanted to buy the piece, so he just sent it back to my wallet and allowed the other person to buy the piece, which was a really great situation because it was definitely like in the beariest of bear market times. So thanks, Lou. I just told the reflector loop story about the Tezos thing while you were coming up. If you didn't hear.
Yeah, yeah, that was really cool. I was more than happy to be part of that. Hi, friends.
Hey, Lou.
Hey, Lou.
Yo, dear, yo.
Yo, yo, yo.
What's good, Lou?
Not way too much. I was about to get into some normie work actually while listening. Um, and I think I accidentally hit the request button or something, but I'm here and so you guys just got me out of normie work. So here we go.
All right.
Yeah, it
We
was
we know
actually
you're
the
always just
perfect
looking for an excuse.
perfect mistake, man.
Yeah, you're just
Oops.
like, yeah. Give me an excuse, any excuse.
Oops, I requested again.
Hey, can we hear the Lou Pong origin story?
Origin, man, I would love to go back in the DMs. I don't know if it was a DM introduction or what, but Soundwaves Photon is who brought me into the space initially, and he made the introduction somehow, some way. Um, and pretty shortly thereafter, Pong was ballsy enough and sent me a glass piece, and then that's when it all started.
You were ballsy enough to give me your address.
I sure did, man. People know my name and address around here. It's
Yeah.
it's a little weird, but I
Yeah, like
tell you what,
don't give up your wallet. But your
yeah.
address. Hmm.
I said to some people though in Miami this year, I said, man, is it just like really exhausting trying to stay, anonymous, basically, to not dox yourself as you're introducing yourself.
Dude, I can't believe that my building let me check you in as Laser Lou and and
That's
Paper as Paper Buddha.
yeah.
Like they were like, is this their real names? I was like, yeah, they're kind of rock stars, you know.
They're kind of rock stars.
I mean, I was like, it's like you guys are gonna have to dox yourselves if you're gonna stay here, but no, it worked. It was wild. Still,
That's awesome.
It seems like a lot of work to stay under wraps, but I don't know.
100% it is, man. I look at the people that have actually done it quite successfully, and that's all I think in my head is, dude, what a lot of fucking work that is. Like, why do you want that much more? But I guess it's also fun. It's part of the magic.
Yeah.
I heard that Laser Lou is actually Nicholas Dimes. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I met Nick Dimes.
Well, I know that the three of them were in a room together, but I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Oh, like I said,
no, man, have not yet personally met Nick Dimes, and Laser and Paper and Empress would not give me any indication. They're like, oh no, you got to meet Nick Dimes on your own. I don't know. I think I got a hint in a space this week. But no, not personally. I got some DMs though while we were in Miami, where Nick Dimes would show up exactly where I had just left. I don't know how the hell he figured that part out, but
Because
yeah.
it's Lou and Lou knew. Because you told Lou, hey, I'm leaving here.
No, there's no way it's Lou,
I'll
dude.
tell you. I'll tell you. I know it's
Lou's getting
not
his AI
Lou.
on.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
You never know.
There's no fucking way, man.
You never know.
He's a man of many talents. He does
I know.
origami, for God's sake. Who does
well,
that?
yeah. Let's not forget that
Oh, he makes Hawaiian shirts out of $2 bills. I know, that's fucking nuts.
Nuts.
There's no way that
You have
Lou's
to elaborate
Nick
on
Dimes, or you really got me going like freaking Sunny Delight. Go.
Mike, I thought that you were one of somebody that we both support pretty heavily. I thought maybe you were, or that account was your alt, but I don't think it is anymore.
Wait, you thought I was Nick Dimes?
No, I thought you were
Are you redirecting, or no? What are we doing?
billionaire. Billionaire. I thought you were.
No, I thought you were billionaire. We
No,
had this
you were
discussion.
billionaire.
No, we had this discussion in New York, and I promise you,
Okay.
that I'm all about love, but I'm not Billy. And yeah, we were trying to figure that, dude. Okay, so you are Billy.
No, I'm Nick Dimes. I'm not Billy.
No, man. I've probably hung out with Nick and Billy and everybody else, and never known it. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about Web3, I guess. I don't have time to have a freaking alias. I'll tell you that.
Amen, dude. Amen. That seems like a lot of
That's
work.
the biggest catfish I've heard all night.
Oh my god. I love this, dude. I thought it could be Lou, and it still might be Lou, or somebody Lou adjacent.
Lou adjacent.
Parallel.
Maybe it's Billy on air.
Nobody ever thinks it's bits. I mean,
This space, there's a lot of people here. There's a ton of artists. I see somebody new every day. I mean, it's huge, but at the same time, it's not that large. Like, I think, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
when you start looking at those object circles, there's a
Yep.
lot of crossover.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Nick Dimes gave me a ride to the airport under the gun. It was crazy. Out of the fucking blue.
He
Nowhere.
put the hammer down, didn't he? That's good.
And the number 55 Monte
That's
Carlo.
right.
You had to
That's
climb
right,
through the
dude.
damn window, man. He didn't even stop to let you off. You just had to jump.
Oh, he stopped, but he was gone before I got out. I'll tell you that. And I just remember when he pulled up. I opened the door and he's like, hey, "Bits, is it okay if I have the window down a little bit?" And I said, "Yeah, fuck yeah, bud. Like whatever you want, man." He's like, "I want my hair to blow in the wind." Right? Like that was.
Well, it was early in the morning, man. He probably just got out of the shower, and you didn't even let him get to the blow dryer.
I don't know.
So I mean, that's understandable.
That was heavy. Anyways, that was that was a magic moment in my life. I just want to say. Does anybody else? While we're here breaking chat and having a good time, does anybody else want to have any questions for Pong? You want to pop up and talk? And no, if you do, you can feel free to do so. If not, we'll keep talking. Nick Dimes and Miami.
Oh man, I'm sorry about that.
No man, shit no.
Great
No.
movie from the 90s.
Oh. What was that?
Sounds like a great 90s movie.
Absolutely.
In Miami.
Wait, is Pong Nick Dimes? I think we just figured it out now.
Maybe.
I think I have a picture of me and Lou.
You know what?
Nick Dimes though.
His wife is a very large collector, one of the largest Nick Dimes collectors.
She's part of the pit crew. Actually, she's a Nick Dimes pit crew person. But I don't know. I might. She probably knows all the real secrets, but
man, I'm a Twitter group, like the Twitter group. What did he call it? A community manager or something, like a mod, like in the Twitter style, or something. I mean, Nick just sent me a damn, or Pong, or whoever sent me,
or Jen.
Or Jen sent me a deal saying that I mean, I did kind of ask to be part of the team on your show.
I remember that.
And yeah, I got graced with the responsibility of being a community manager. I don't know. I just try to post some NASCAR quotes every now and then. I hope I'm doing a good job.
I knew that. I saw that. I was like, that's fucking got Mike Nash written all over it. No, just kidding. Really? I remember that too when the offer was laid out and you asked and the offer was laid out there. That was hilarious.
As long as I'm entertained, I don't care who it is.
Yeah, we're bridging gaps here on the WX8BK night train. God damn. This train's running smooth tonight. There's no
okay. I got some glass blowing questions.
Glass
blowing now. So everyone that I've ever met that's been a glass blower started blowing glass because they wanted to make their own pipes and bongs. Was that ever in your realm, or?
Not a
Or were you?
stereotype. That's a truth. Yep. Next
Yeah.
question.
No, it's fine. That's just what the glass blowing world most people know. So no, not really. Like
What was the first thing you ever made? Do you
There
remember?
you go. That's a much better question, Lou. There you go.
uh, I made a little. Well, the first things I made were these like two sculptures I made on my own that I probably wasn't supposed to do or whatever, and they kind of looked like ears. Ben and I kept them on our little coffee table, and like it just became a really great joke that everybody would come and check them out and put their finger in them. They just couldn't help themselves. And
Were they ears
actually,
or were they
I had to
Georgia
remove them
O'Keeffe's?
from. Yeah, they were very. Yeah, they were organic.
Cool.
This is
Um,
bad shit.
yeah, and then after that, I made this little tiny cup with like a little tiny foot. I kind of made the foot by accident. It was like a little tiny, really thick and chunky goblet, but it was still really cool. And I gave it to my mom. I remember giving it to
Good.
my.
Why do you say
Oh,
you weren't supposed to make these ears? Were you, is it because you were like taking a class or something?
read between the lines.
I think I was closing up the shop, sweeping the floors, kind of thing, and then somebody was like, "Yeah, if you want to like gather up, gather," and so I did, and but I really didn't have any experience doing anything yet, other than like what I learned for somebody else assisting wise.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I snuck them in. I can't remember where I snuck them in. I just feel like yeah,
So you weren't necessarily supposed to be using the shop equipment
yeah,
at
that
the
was
time.
probably there. Yeah, that might be it. We are a
Gotcha.
recorded space though, so I can't definitely be sure.
Right. No, no, that's it's all scripted fantasy. We know.
How
Yeah.
often do you use?
What I mean
Nowadays,
is that
I,
something you could get in trouble for still? Like,
no, it's totally silly. I was
I
just
mean,
gonna say the way they treat their techs so well over at Urban Glass, which are the people that run the shop, which is a usually thankless job that you have to
Mhm.
deal with a bunch of artistic personalities while sweeping super toxic dust and handling glass with it's just a thankless job that is really important to the operation to everybody's livelihood. But now the techs over at Urban Glass and other places are just getting treated so much better. Like they get to use the shop in ways that they just wouldn't offer before. So I'm super happy for them. I was actually like looking into like, hey, you guys need a hand around here because the deal is so much sweeter when from when I was there 10, 15 years ago.
okay. So
That's
that's like a paid
cool.
position thing then, cleaning up all that.
Yeah, it's usually a paid position, but most of those places are nonprofit, so they've struggled through the years for great management, for fair pay, benefits, all that kind of stuff. But um, we're living in modern times where you just can't really do that to people and not be called out for it. Like hiring a bunch of part-time workers, to avoid ever having to give people benefits and stuff like that.
Right.
You before it was like you would do whatever you have to do to keep the doors open, and now it's like this is what you have. This is as just as important. If the doors are going to be open, like you got to treat people right. And now there's a lot more people that want to be there and do those jobs because they know they'll be treated better and they know the opportunity is better. But if you're going to live in New York, you can't well, you can scrape together whatever it takes to do, but it's not as it's great. It's great for them that they have some kind of opportunity to get in there and work themselves. So happy to see it.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, okay, so my last question that I think I have, my last serious question. is do do you have any like do you have any of your work, or have you had any of your work in like a Hobby Lobby or some, have you made lamps that make it to retail kind of shit, or is it
Uh,
all just like
I'm not really sure what a Hobby Lobby is, but it doesn't sound great for my
it's
work. I'm not sure if that's where I want to
it's
be showing.
it's like a it's like a shittery store. It's like a home goods store.
Oh,
They
so
they sell like plates and rugs
yeah,
and
you can't keep up with those places and how they do it and where they're manufacturing and the prices that they're making stuff for. Through other people, through making work for other people, I've seen products out there in the world that I'm like, that could be me, that could be mine, but it's hard to tell totally. And I've had my biggest accomplishment was being in a group show in the Brooklyn Museum way back in the day. So I had one piece in there. But other than that, like after that, I kind of just switched gears and being around all these other artists, it just became more of a job being a fabricator and an artist that way than focusing on my own work really. So yeah, not too many great big shows yet. A lot in the past 2 years, virtually, around the world through Web3 has been um, so much more exciting to me. It's so much easier than packing and shipping up some glass. And I would work like years to make like a body of work before, or maybe months in a row and spend thousands of dollars. And now like I make so much work. I spend more time editing, out work than before when it was like you know a desperate kind of feeling of waiting for your chance to make work. So it's hard. There's definitely kind of like a bittersweetness to to being a glass worker because I can't afford to or physically be in a studio or for whatever reason always have that shop time. So it makes it really precious. It makes it puts a lot of pressure on you and yourself when it is your time. So this kind of new way of using the glass uh, and keeping the glass and not making that my final point of sale. Like, oh my god, and there's so much to that. Uh, Packing and shipping and displaying and all that is this whole other layer that it's wonderful to take away and be supported for just the imagery that I'm making. I really, really freaking appreciate it. Um, you know, because all that's it's just I want to keep moving forward. On my art career, and this has been a much more viable way to at least feel like I'm moving forward on it.
I'm so
so
happy that you have the opportunity to do it this way, and that you feel that way. That fucking I hope we can steam you forward, all of us.
would you would you say that making NFTs out of your glass art is recycling? I'm sorry, that was a bad dad joke. I just had to throw it out there though.
I mean, you know, it's much better than using a shop too. I mean, the gas costs of glass making is ridiculous. The stuff that uh, the energy that we use. So I would say it's greener for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause like you said, you get multiple uses out of it as opposed to just packaging it and shipping it away, right?
yeah. It's just that it's changed. It's changed a lot for me, but it definitely is. I do want to be in the shop as much as possible, but it's crazy like how much resources we do use over there. It's embarrassing almost. So they definitely there's technologies that are working against it. I know it's like a joke, but it's really true. Like, definitely a greener angle to be doing so much work with the glass later on.
You should
So
promote. You should play
speaking
it
of
that
that,
way. You should like that should be in there. The greener way of doing it. I don't know. That we put a little green leaf next to your name. It makes sense to me. You can charge more. People like that stuff. Maybe I'm just crazy.
No, no,
Right? My
That's
cousin's mowing lawns with battery rechargeable lawnmowers now and weed eaters, and I put solar panels on top of his trailer, and he charges his customers more now.
because
awesome.
he's charging it with solar panels, so he's greener.
I love that. I think Bit's rugged, but I think that's the idea behind it.
Okay, so going back to technology and things like that. Um, how much of the heating elements, if any, are like induction coils and electric, as opposed to a natural gas or I don't even know.
Sweet, yeah. No, you're right on cue. With like how technology is changing things. Yeah, the furnaces just started to be more induction coil, and then ovens are usually the like ceramic kilns, so they're already electric. It's just the furnace is usually gas, and then the reheating chamber is usually gas too. And so the furnace is on 24/7 when you're running, and the other one you turn on and off during the day. But um, you know, the numbers of what you use in a day are pretty astronomical. Whether you're using propane or natural gas, it's a it's a fair amount.
Twitter rugged me when I was talking about that. I guess it didn't like the whole greener alternative that I was talking about.
So if some of it's moving towards electric or like an induction coil, then if it is being run by a solar farm, like are you looking at producing a solar farm there? Like I'm trying to scale the electric energy usage to like a number of panels. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I imagine it's extremely high, and it would take a lot of solar to run something like that.
100% it would.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd imagine so. I could get all the numbers for you. There's a lot of there's a couple manufacturing sites we can just jump on, and that would probably give you directly the numbers that you were looking for as far as power consumption.
No,
Do
I'm not
your
looking
own
to build one
research,
myself.
Willie.
I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm
I
just
mean, it's
curious.
fun. It's a
We don't got to dig that deep.
Well,
I'm kind of into it too now that you said it.
I know, like personally, because my cabin is solar. We do have a generator if we want to fire it up, but we don't. But yeah, like things like that that's a huge consumption, but it can definitely be done. There's places that do it. It's like at my cabin, I run a dozen 100-watt panels and a dozen 6-volt batteries, and I mean I can run anything I want, just not things like toasters and dryers, and that's the kind of power usage you're even remotely getting into when you're talking about that kind of stuff for sure. It'd have to be
Yeah,
Yeah, and
huge.
you know me, I like to reverse engineer on the fly over here.
I know, goddamn
So I'm
designers.
I'm thinking I'm thinking like how many, like, 'cause you couldn't do that straight off of panels alone. I'm thinking, so you'd have to have a battery
No,
bank. You just have to store though. You'd have to be storing it, but then like an amp, like a car amplifier with a capacitor, you're still not gonna burn it. Like, I don't know. The
well, what
logistics just
my
don't seem
friend
to work
has
out for me.
an electric furnace, and I want to say 440, but it's also like a giant Tesla coil, and so it's definitely got some of its own different uh, things.
Oops. Oops.
Oh, good.
Sorry, I muted everybody.
all
Whoa,
good.
Willie's censoring. We're talking Tesla
No,
plays.
Don't
I was
say
scrolling.
Tesla.
Oh yeah, that might get us rugged.
Oh, that's right. If you want to store power, you need to use the new Tesla solar cells,
There you
available
go.
from Elon Musk.
That'll keep us alive.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. There's also a bunch of people that are doing the recycled fry oil is kind of a thing that you can actually power
Okay.
your studio with. And yeah, a good friend of mine is in Oaxaca, Mexico right now. Has built like probably one of the greenest shops off of using recycled fry oil, the combo of solar, everything he can get his hands on. They're using recycled glass, so he's got guys out always collecting glass, and he's built different equipment to kind of share the workload of, one thing is really hot, and instead of like, why would we just vent it out into the air when we can like take that heat and transfer it over into this other oven over here? And that's kind of the old school way too. When these glass shops were built like 1,000 years ago, they were kind of like a beehive, and so the fire started below, and everything was powered off it in different ways and stations throughout the beehive. So you got every last drop of energy out of the crazy amount of
Yes.
stuff that they were having to consume to create the heat that they were creating.
That's fucking killer, man. And you know what? Like, we need to look to the old ways. That is so
Venetians,
true.
man.
Well, even
People give the
like,
Romans all the credit, but the Venetians did a lot more.
and like here when the settlers like fucking were going across Canada, right? I mean, miserable fucking place. I'm looking out the window at it right now in wintertime. But like when the wood stove, when they would vent it outside, they would like go up towards the roof, but then they would run it along the roof for like 10, 15 feet, because why would you let all of that warm air just go right out, right? And that would heat their kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So make like shit like that. We don't do crap like that. We waste a lot here, including energy. God damn.
Yeah. Now we're all trying to reverse engineer 200 years or 2,000 year old stuff to try to figure out how they did it and what they. It's like, if you would just kept doing it that way,
Right. And it
it would have
circles
been
back.
fine.
It circles back to earlier when Pong was talking about how what was it, the glass busts, or I think it was about how like 1,000 years ago they could do it, and we're looking at it now going, how the fuck do we do that? It's like, even if you go to Europe, like or you go to Greece, like go to the, go look at that architecture, and they're like, well, we can't even cut these blocks to be as exact as they cut these blocks.
Yeah,
Like,
they're still trying to figure out the formula for Roman concrete. They still can't figure it out. It's like it's stronger than concrete we have today, and they still can't figure out what's in it to recreate it.
but yeah, like, I mean, right there, and Pong, like Pong said, you design your studio so that you're not losing any of that energy. That's right. WX8BK, the night train. We're the greener Twitter space.
So when I was in Venice, I went to one of those glass blowing tour deals, as a standard
Yeah.
American tourist. Oh, sorry, I was a Canadian tourist at that one, eh?
Yeah,
Did you see
okay.
the horse demo?
The what? The horse demo?
Yeah, did they make a horse?
I don't remember what they made, but what I do remember is as the guy was trying to sell me glass, and we'd just gotten there. We got 2 weeks in front of us, and he's trying to sell me some glass, trying to sell me some champagne flutes, and he smashes them against each other, and they don't break, and it still blows my mind today, and I just don't get it. Like he took two of them and like hit them against each other, like clink clink,
Like
like
an as
hard.
like an as seen on TV ad. That's what that sounds
Yeah,
like. And when I went to Venice,
and they
yes,
were fine, and I don't get it. Like how does that happen?
but probably if you had bought them, they wouldn't have made it home.
Yeah, those weren't the ones you were taking home with you.
Oh, but how does he do that? How does that work?
It's just the process of being well annealed, being cooled down correctly from hot to cold. If you rush that, if you just don't put it into an oven over a long period of time to slowly cool it down, the glass will just shatter. But if you can figure out that formula right, um, then you can do that. I think that's a popular thing with pipe makers, or used to be, like back in the day when I knew them in the 90s. They would like throw one on the ground and be like, "You see, it's so tough, so well
Yeah.
annealed," or whatever. Yeah, so um,
Is
yeah, I
that why
don't.
Pyrex?
Yeah. So
Same thing.
that's a different. The Pyrex is also a different formula from what I use, and you can supposedly safely smoke through it, as opposed to the glass that we use is not supposed to be safe for that. So you need to attach a Pyrex slide or something like that. But the Pyrex
Oh,
is usually a ton tougher.
wait a minute. So I'm not
Uh oh,
supposed to be smoking these things? What?
we
Lou.
totally packed a bowl in that being.
I mean, I would probably make a lot more money if they were smokable objects. That's for sure. There is some other bong making guy in Web3. I'm gonna remain unnamed. He doesn't want to follow me back. That's fine. But he seems to be killing it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Why the fuck would you not? We got a couple glass homies. You're gonna. Ugh. Ugh.
That's not what we talked about earlier. How can this person be around this Web3 space and not be cool?
Oh, I lost somebody immediately with the anti-bong thing. Sorry. No, it's
Down
cool.
with the
I
bongs.
should do it. I just haven't figured it out a way that it works for me. So yeah, I'll figure that out. Maybe Lou. I don't know. It's yeah. I'm so
Well, the
close.
one
It's not a matter of like, yeah. I don't know. It's just a weird thing.
it's definitely a niche market. It's a hard sell to fucking put your heart and soul and a lot of work into a bong and then want to and then tell somebody, okay, well, this is a $2,500 bong,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I totally get it now, too. Having like, I've had like a young student who is in the pipe world and is one of these guys that collaborates with everybody and is amazingly talented. And when he was a kid, I was like, dude, don't do it. Don't do it. Whatever. Just like, you're so talented, don't do it. And he like passionately explained to me like how much he loved lamp working more than the furnace working. And he was right. He's really fucking good at it. It's his, you know, $2,500 for a piece that he's got his hands on is probably a steal now. So if it's your thing, it's your thing. I don't know why it just has never been my thing so far.
Well, man, you're chiseling out your thing. You're you're on the right route.
I appreciate that, man.
I believe that.
Yeah, whatever you're doing, I'm liking it. So
I mean, I guess the biggest problem with anything nowadays is how the world is and how the market is and everything. It's just not anybody that is still making anything and selling some art is doing. I mean, that's a good thing. It's keeping your eye. It's keeping yourself in the eye of the world, which is important in the eye of the collectors, I believe. When I was in Italy, when I went, just thinking about that, um, I remember when I went on that fucking glass blowing tour thing where they take you out in the boat out to the islands, and man, all I remember doing was looking at the stuff going, because I had been in Venice already for 24 hours, and I remember looking at some of the stuff they were selling, and I'm like, no, this shit's on sale in the gift shop in the bottom of my hotel. Like, I can buy these same pieces and they're like a third of the price.
Oh,
yeah, but the gift shop won't ship them. The glass
yeah.
blowing tour place will ship them.
They're all not from Italy in the gift shop, probably too.
I guess it all looks
That's
like
what
the
the
same
Murano
stuff.
guys say. Yeah, well, you can make the stuff anywhere, but unfortunately, the guys on um, the island's taken, different had for 1,000 years was maybe not. I'm trying to think of the year. It's maybe like 700 years since they basically kicked the glassblowers off of Venice and onto Murano because they kept burning the city down, and but from there on they were so secretive about any work leaving there. So you could look at a piece and say this is from Murano because nobody else can do this. But industrial revolution changed everything for them. Manufacturing changed everything for them. People leaving the island and going all over the world and sharing their secrets slowly dripped to change everything for them. So uh, leading up to the 60s, they've closed down probably like 90% of the glass shops that once existed there, and then the rest of the rumors are that around Italy, anything else is usually from a third world country where they're unfortunately not paying people well, and all the things that come with that, and they're basically just rebranding stuff they make there to sell even on the island. I've heard, but I don't know. That's all very rumorish. But I do know that the island is in a really tough place financially and geologically, maybe speaking to its level of flooding and the future of it and all that stuff. So um, it's a it's a it's definitely an issue for those guys, and it's definitely like a tourist thing. Um, but I've never been. But I definitely feel like it's something I hope the glass community, kind of holds on to and saves in some way.
Absolutely, it's definitely a different world out there. And I guess with a lot of this, with the stuff that I was talking about too, I mean, I was looking at nothing. The chandeliers and some of the shit that I saw definitely was not stuff they sold in the gift shops. I couldn't believe it. It blew me away to be somewhere. It was 41 degrees Celsius. If y'all want to know what that is in Fahrenheit, I guess you can convert it. But and then we went on this trip to the island, and then we went into these fucking glass blowing places to watch them make the horses. And I was like, I can't believe these people are acclimated to work in this kind of temperature. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, the temperature that's in the studio, it's that temperature no matter whether it's -7 Fahrenheit outside or whether it's plus 20. So I guess it doesn't really matter. It's fucking hot is hot. You get used to it.
Summertime suck a little more usually, but yeah, it's pretty. You do get used to it, and it's pretty awesome. But it's nicer in the winter for sure. But I kind of hate the winter on the outside, so I'm in the middle of those two worlds. And I've only been to Murano via Google Earth so far, so I'm definitely envious of you for getting to see it in person. And it definitely looks awesome, even through VR or whatever. So
Have you been out to Seattle to the Chili Museum?
I haven't been to the Chihuly Museum. I've been to the school, and you know, um, that was a long time ago though. So yeah, I'm hoping to get a trip out there sometime soon. There's actually the Tacoma Museum is a little more interesting to me. They have this uh, giant um, amphitheater studio, and they're holding like a different resident artist every week with their super skilled staff of glass workers, and yeah, it's kind of one of the most coveted jobs I think for people like myself to be to be out there on that team. They're just getting to work with maestro glass workers one week, and then experimental artists that won a residency the next week, and so they're just full time producing kind of museum quality work in this gazillion-dollar glass shop, and it's open to the public to come and chill and hang out and watch what's going on.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I didn't know about that.
Man, I love learning about the new shit that we learn on by having these different artists on. Like, I'm all excited now. It's like, well, I want to go too.
Yeah, me too. We should make a Seattle trip.
Yeah, are you guys in
Tacoma
the
trip.
Vancouver area kind of thing, or?
Willie's in California. I'm only 8 hours from Vancouver, and I've been down to the Pacific Northwest lots. I love it down there. Good vibe. And like, I mean,
I'm a
you said that was
45-minute flight or a 4-day flight, depending on whether United wants to pick me up or not.
You said that was in Tacoma?
Yeah, it's the Tacoma Museum of Glass. It's awesome. You can watch a bunch of their videos online too if you're really into it. Past like running out of Netflix shows, I watch their videos all the time. I love to see other artists what they're doing, and I kind of like in like 1 or 2 degrees of I've met all the team, but my friends are like good friends of their friends kind of thing, so I feel really connected to them.
That's cool.
Absolutely dope. I was thinking about this earlier. I asked you what your favorite things to make were, but what's the one thing that anybody's ever asked you to make that you're like, fuck, man, I don't want to make that as a glass blower?
Well, goblets. They're like the traditional Venetian goblets. Like I do want to make those, but I need like a year residency somewhere to just make those, and that's like the same stuff. That's what I was talking about when
yeah.
they made like 1,000 years ago. There's a couple cups that people still just shoot to reproduce, and it's like, oh, you can make that cup. Like, yeah, like that's. I find that to be the highest skill form of glassmaking that there is, and it's really delicate, and it's really precise, and it's super beautiful. You've got to be on point 100%, you and your assistant. And yeah, it's just really cool that somebody was doing the things, making these objects so long ago, before any of this technology was even close to what we have now, that they were figuring out how to make these crazy, delicate, glass objects. So
I just handed down by apprenticeship.
Yes, yeah. So I'm happy to help other gaffers make those. That's the person usually the main glass blower, and I'm pretty confident in assisting in all that work, which is really cool. And I hope I love making those with other people, but as far as being like the lead on that is a nightmare for me right now.
What did you say? Sorry, what did you say the assistant was called again?
The lead's called the gaffer, and then the assistant.
The lead's the gaffer. Okay, sorry, it was gaffer that I heard. That's kind of crazy. Just kind of, you said gaffer, and I was like, that's interesting, because that's what they call a person that holds the microphone, like when they're filming movies and TV. Am I wrong?
That's what I was thinking.
Right?
Yeah, in entertainment,
Yeah,
like concerts, and the gaffer is is like the PA of the PA, kind of.
You're a little bitch. Gaffer is a little bitch, right?
I thought it was
Yeah, you could say that, I guess.
Yeah, I said it. You're just a
depending
little
on which
bitch.
one you work for.
Yep.
I've never. All right.
Sorry, this
Well,
is
there
a
we go.
recording space. I gotta be careful.
That's all right. Comfortable space. Speak as you wish. As I choke on my own water that I drank.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys so much, but I have the opportunity to work tomorrow, and I've got got to make sure I get a couple of hours of Z's before it is my big day to make some work. So I personally
Awesome.
got to wrap it up, but I really can't thank you guys enough for letting me talk about my own shit for so long.
You're
It's
the fucking bomb, man. Like
dude,
you
Yeah,
work so fucking hard. You're the bomb.
yeah, we're excited to see what comes out next. So keep us updated, and thank you for all the time you've given us.
Yeah, man, that's it's. Anytime you want, we always extend the olive branch. Anytime you want, man, you can come back on. And if you got something you want to tell people about, you want to pin something up, we're here all the time, and you're more than welcome to come and hang out whenever you want.
After the first of the year, you and the wife can come back on, but not until then.
Together,
I'm going
we'll
to
bring them on
personally be
together.
pushing my own labels until then.
totally fine.
No,
Totally
I'm
fine.
kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I might buy one of yours, but then I'll have to buy 2 more of Jen's. So I'm not sure. We'll see how.
Totally
That's the
kidding.
rules. That's the rules, buddy.
Is it only
If
one per
if
person, or is it just like whoever's got the biggest bag to spend is gonna win? Just
No,
ask.
it
so
has
okay,
to be
so
individual
so
wallets.
Not me.
yeah, I actually brought that up in the beginning. That's why it's also individual wallets, because I was like, so I can just buy my way into this competition. And Pokey Shaman was like, we'll figure out another way to ground that. So that's why it's also individual wallets.
I've got a couple of alt accounts, but
That's all
Are
right.
you
Howie's got a
are you
lot of those.
billionaire?
Are
Or
you
are you
one of
Nick
those
Dimes?
dimes?
Oh, are you
no
Billy?
alt accounts that we discussed.
Wait a second.
None of those guys are me. But I was hoping you would talk about my alt accounts, but nobody did. But so that'll leave you guessing still.
Oh, dude. This is the information you get when you listen to the Night Train broadcast right there. Now we got to go search that out.
I'm
Holy
gonna get on the
moly!
biker tools later.
Oh
Dun,
my
dun,
goodness!
dun.
See what's up.
No, dude, seriously, thank you very, very much. You're always welcome. I know you pop in the spaces. You listen to us all the time, too. We were happy to have you on. We hope you have a great day tomorrow and a great week next week. So you can definitely bounce out and go get your beauty rest and go live your dream.
Appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you,
appreciate
Hope you
you.
man.
guys also have a great night, great week, and yeah, thanks. I'll definitely come back and hang out. And when the contest is over, I'll come and talk again.
And Jim, before you go, in all seriousness, if I wasn't in the competition, you are the label that I would be picking. I do like yours the best.
Oh,
Behind mine.
I generated one of the other contests labels already too, which was really cool. But it didn't get used for a job for Jen. I'm not gonna say who, but I'm telling you, like I made the exact same piece as one of the other contestant members uh, for a job for Jen. That I guess it just didn't. We didn't move it forward. I think we were still a little skeptical about the AI, but yeah, super cool contest. I'm too late to enter, but I would have entered the like almost same piece as somebody else if I had the chance. So more
Oh, dude.
mysteries. Yeah. Anyway,
Dun, dun, dun.
Hmm.
I'll just keep rambling. That's my problem. I'll never go to work. I'll be up all night with you guys.
No, go. Go. We'll
Go.
talk to you
Go
later.
to bed.
Thank you
Honk.
guys.
Time to
Love
Thank
you.
go to
you.
Goodbye,
bed.
Thank you
dude.
so much. Have a great night.
Oh, dude. That was a. Did he hit like one of those? It sounded like one of them bowls that the monks
Singing
use.
bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
singing bowl.
He's like, boom. Signing off.
I can't wait for the
Man,
traveling circus, man.
that was
I hope
so.
that really comes through.
The what?
Paper Buddha's traveling circus
Oh, right.
with
Sorry.
laser shows and live glass blowing.
Yeah. I thought we were talking about something that Pong said tonight. And I was like, well, what did I miss? That I
No,
learned so much tonight.
it's something
Oh,
that Paper's trying to put together.
yeah. Yeah. I'm on the same page now. I just wasn't. I wasn't there. I was still in Pong mode. We learned so much tonight. Are you gonna
Yeah,
go
I
out
love
and
it.
Are you gonna go out and
Build
buy an
build a
oven?
furnace.
Yeah.
I mean, I already had lasers delivered to my house. I might as well. I don't know.
Did you get your little lasers?
I did.
Your $9 pack of
I
lasers? Right
did.
on. Sweet deal.
What'd you get,
Yeah.
man?
Just a 3 pack of like handheld pointers.
Red, green, and violet.
Yep, that's it.
Cool.
$9. $9 for the pack.
Cool. USBs or AAAs or what do they take?
Triple A's.
Not bad, man.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna mess with some light painting on the back wall while we're doing spaces. I just didn't have time to set up the camera this week,
That's gonna be
Awesome.
cool.
so that'll be kind of fun. Do like a weekly light paint mint thing. I'm thinking. I don't know.
Are you gonna get the some glow in the dark paint or a glow in the dark screen of
No,
sorts for that violet?
No, he's gonna do a long exposure with the
Oh, I get
camera.
yeah,
that. I'm saying on
yeah.
top of that.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I hadn't gotten
Oh,
that far.
next
I
one.
don't know.
Lou's kicking it up a
I
notch.
hadn't gotten that far. Well, no, because I was just planning on just hitting the back wall. So,
Sure.
I don't want to paint it. I mean, I want to paint it, but
Well, yeah, I was gonna say
that's different.
we're all coming
I
out
want
there
y'all to
for
paint it.
a week or so. We're gonna paint the hell out of that wall.
Yeah, I want you guys to paint it.
This is your submission to the contest, One Wheel Willie, with the hot air balloon.
Yep.
This is a cool pic, man.
That's Willie
Thanks.
up there in the balloon. Willie was up there in the balloon. It was his wife who took the picture.
Is that
I
true?
was down in the fields picking. No, I was down in the fields picking. We were picking the 16 Syrah.
Willie, you're wrecking it, man.
Yeah.
But I guess everybody eventually you would get called out because somebody would come there and you wouldn't be able to take them in a balloon. So okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Just for anybody that's hanging out in here, thanks for popping in tonight. I do see we have Lexi Hart's in here, DeChick3's in here, and hang on, I'm scrolling here. Wine Bags with a Z, Wine Bags with a Z. I love that. We got B, John Boyd Johnson. Thanks for being in here. We're just chatting away in here now. So if anybody wants to come up and chat about anything, feel free to do so. If you missed earlier in the space, we talked to Pong, was our guest artist. You can listen to it tomorrow on your way to work or while you're at work because it is recorded. Other than that, where were we?
Oh, Lou was saying how much he liked my photography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my label submission. Yeah, so when we were in Miami, I was talking to Pope, and he just gave me a little, live one-on-one alpha about, there aren't really that many submissions. He goes, you could kind of submit anything. So I went, I got the perfect photo that would be great on a label. Let me see if it's on my phone because I'm not going to be able to get to it before we get home, before the deadline. So I went through. Thankfully, it was on my phone. I'm like, perfect. Did a little quick editing in the phone and sent it in.
I was there in Willie's living room in Miami when he was doing that, I was drinking a Truly.
Yeah.
I was kicking a hangover.
So was it taken on your phone, the photo, or was it taken on a different camera?
No, I was taken on my phone. Not the phone I carry now. I don't know. So that was like 15, 16.
Really?
So it's been 2-3 phones ago, maybe. But yeah, no, we were just out there picking. I saw this hot air balloon come across the top, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's gonna make a great picture. Just snapped a quick pic, and then
yeah,
went, this needs better exposure.
It took a good picture.
Camera, but from people. Yeah, I liked it.
I snagged one.
We
Thank you.
we always thanks, Lou.
Oh,
No, thank you.
We always we're always like, whenever we're out in the fields like that, always looking to take some good shots, just for marketing or to put on labels, or just you never know what a good photo's gonna do in the
Yeah.
field like that.
so Willie, how many generations of grape pickers are in your family? I mean, you've been picking grapes all your life. Willie supports a family, two
My
kids and
my
a wife.
family of pickers, just two generations of pickers,
Uh,
3 generations of bottlers and corkers
I was making funny joke, but yes,
though. Yeah, my got my kid bottling and corking though. So
nice. I haven't made a wine kit. I mean, obviously you do it the real you folks do it the real deal, Willie. I haven't made a wine kit in like a few months, and I've been buying wine, and it gets expensive. Got to make your own, especially on the scale that your family does.
you gotta hit the grocery outlet, man.
Yeah. I try to be thrifty, but sometimes you look and you go, well,
Nah, Thrifty got bought out by Rite Aid years ago, and they don't sell good wine.
Stop it.
come on.
Stop it.
Yeah,
My
you got
dog.
to get in on that NFT game, and then you get it shipped to you.
Absolutely. Wag me wine. Get it shipped to your door.
Yeah, I gotta try that out. I've got some. I won a piece, I think, a Truman piece, um, and I've got some of these labels, these new ones. Yeah, I got to figure out how that game's played.
Yeah, man.
The
I
Truman
mean,
piece you won isn't a Wag Me Wine piece. It's just a Chris Truman piece.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we might have talked about that. I'm sorry. I thought that's what
Yeah.
it was.
No, there. I mean,
but
there's
but
because he does a lot of the art for Wag Me Wine. There can be some confusion there.
but I was also going to say that Chris Truman pieces have had utility in the Wag Me Wine game, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
there's
for
been
sure.
some
Every
crossover.
every artist that's been involved with Wag Me Wine has basically had utility in the Wag Me Wine game. It's a good game to play if you're an artist.
It's a good game to be an artist for,
Yes,
I think.
It's a
absolutely. That too.
it's a good art for a game. For
Yeah. Yeah, Lou, I was trying to get you to take a picture of your installation in Miami to send in.
oh well, I fucked that up, didn't
Well, I maybe I wasn't clear enough in my communication.
I?
Maybe you
I
weren't.
wanted to
Maybe you
ask
weren't
you.
sober. Maybe you weren't sober.
I definitely wasn't
um,
sober.
the item you brought and photographed down there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's secret or what the story is really behind it, or if you did tell me, I apologize. I don't remember, but I just wanted to offer, like, it was not ideal to just throw that in there. Like, if you wanted it in a like legit setup, I'd be more than happy, but you'd have to fucking ship it to me.
No, I think what I got was pretty cool.
All right, good.
Like I'm happy with it, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with what I got.
I thought
Okay,
it was
good.
like Maynard. I thought it was like Maynard James Keenan. You know, sitting there singing a Tool song at the front. I dug it. That's the vibe I got off of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Was I
kind of
getting
kind of
too deep? Was
covered,
I getting too
like
deep there,
hidden.
man?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the text and everything on it is like hidden, but it's still there. So it's like you can't see his face, but like you can kind of see his outline. Is that
All
what you're going
hunched
with?
over, and yeah.
Dude, I have so many Laser Lou 101s that I took that day. Let me tell you. That was fun. Oh shoot. No, I'm not gonna do that right now. I was gonna say Laser, I was gonna I have saved an eBay list and in my shop list, my shopping cart. I have a shopping cart on eBay, and I'm gonna forward it to you, and you can tell me if what I'm picking is okay.
Oh, this is fun. All right, cool.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do it right now because I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole right now. And
I'm guessing this has to do with glass or lasers. It's not
lasers.
something kinky.
No,
Okay, cool.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no.
Never know.
No.
It's
Would
snow shovels.
would you choose these tight leather pants, or would you wear these tight leather pants?
I think the
Yeah.
way your hips are shaped, I would go with those there.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. You see, not enough people say that, right? Just tell me how it is and tell me, okay, that's great. I'm fat. Like, thanks. Kidding.
I thought you were just giving Lou your Christmas list, like he was old Santa Claus or something. Like,
Just slide it in there. Just try to be one of the other kids. Like, oh yeah.
By the way, well, maybe I'll put the link. Well, whatever. I mean, if I wake up in the morning and my shopping cart, there's an item purchased, that's fine with me too. Fuck's sakes. Yeah, no, I did. I went into eBay, but then I started looking and it was like late at night, as usual, right? And maybe I had a couple drinks, maybe I had a hoot, I don't know. But yeah, no, I went on eBay and I chose some lasers and I was like, well,
Yeah,
what is
there
that?
are so many wild lasers on eBay, both
Yes.
good and bad, and just like completely you're not going to get what you expect type of things. So yeah, absolutely send that shit to me. I've purchased all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, no,
from
I
everywhere.
know. I will ask. I even picked like two different versions of kind of the same thing because there was differences. I was like, okay, wait.
So one thing I didn't bring that I wanted to bring to Miami was my pointers. So I got a couple like Pelican cases full of pointers that I built over the years that I'd never ever use. If you guys are interested in like a legit fucking pointer, like super legit pointer, I know you guys. I would sell them to you. Like I don't sell them to people. They're dangerous. I've built a couple for friends on request, but it's only after giving them lectures. But just throwing that out there. They're not cheap, but I'm saying they're like in the $100 range, and they're fucking wild.
Wild. Mike Nash, what were they? They were wild.
they're fucking wild, man.
Wow.
Wow.
I got to get that
Oh,
sound bite. I got
buddy.
to get that sound bite in the soundboard so we can always have that.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't even do it on purpose, but yeah, whenever I.
Well, it's just you, man. Like, dude. Still to this day, I'm going to tell the story over and over again. When we were in Miami and we were heading in that Uber to go to that Wynwood graffiti tour, like, I'm going to tell this fucking story every damn space now.
Wait, tell it again. Tell it again.
Well,
What
just
happened?
like, just because Willie, the whole way we're in the Uber and Willie's like, well, Mike is there already. Mike's there. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And I'm in the back seat. Willie's up front. And then I get out of the Uber and I went to Willie. I'm like, is this that Mike guy? And he says, yeah. So I get out and I'm go, hey, are you Mike? And he turns around and I'm like, holy fuck, Mike Nash. Like the whole time it never occurred to me who the fuck we were going to meet up with. And when you turned around, I'm
I
like, oh
just
my.
could have been the guy that was driving the golf cart.
No, dude, I knew what you looked
Except
like.
I didn't have a freaking beautiful mullet.
Yeah, no, you did not, sir. You did not. But you had,
Man,
you
that
had
guy's mullet made me so jealous. I still, man, my hair's too curly. I don't know.
It is not often a mullet makes you jealous.
Say what?
Not often. It's not often a mullet makes you jealous.
I don't know. That boy
That's
pulled it
true.
off so well.
That's true.
That might be the first one because I was a little jealous too. I'm like, man, this guy's rocking this mullet.
I know. It's like we all want the achy breaky heart, but it just doesn't work for most
I
of
haven't
us,
rocked a
man.
mullet since fourth grade,
Business
man.
in the front, party in the rear,
The old Tennessee top hat, the old Kentucky waterfall, the Camaro cut,
the mud flap. Yeah, man.
the mud flap.
See, back in the day, back in the late '80s, when I had my mullet, I have really curly hair. So once my mullet got to a certain length, like I always had the curliness into it, but once it got to a certain length, it turned into ringlets. So like my mullet was ringlets, and I'm kind of thankful that when I think back to it, that there wasn't like cell phones and shit back in the day, because man, I'd be a meme right now, like for sure. Like when a mullet goes
Holy
bad,
shit!
or
I got to see this, dude. Somebody must have snapped a shot. You've got a picture of
no,
your
even my
Shirley Temple mullet going on.
I
We got
I
to
know
see
I've got a
this
couple
thing, dude.
pictures. I got a couple pictures somewhere.
there are pictures that exist, but like they're in my parents' photo album somewhere. Like, but yeah, no. So therefore, I'm not fucking scanning them and and
Well,
sharing.
our boy
Maybe
Nick Dimes knows how to recover lost photos. I think all we have to do is give him just as much description as you already have, and we can figure this out
You know what?
behind a
That's a
couple
great point.
turntables and uh, at a house of ill repute and with the mullet going and
That is a
wow,
great point.
the House of Ill Repute. Oh, you just threw that in there. I am an angel.
Oh,
I
I was laughing too hard. You really threw me off my track there, Mike.
I'm
Really
no,
sorry,
good.
man. I mean, I don't know what
No,
to
no, no,
call it.
no. I
Canadian
was just,
Gentlemen's Club. What do you do? What do you do?
oh, I was just laughing. I was just laughing.
it's an igloo,
I was just having a good time. I miss you guys.
dude. Fuck, that's so funny.
House of
That's
ill repute.
I was yeah. It sounded like it sounds dirty, but it sounds like gentlemanly.
Yeah, like a gentleman's
Man,
club.
I'm trying to keep the class here.
Dude, you're doing a
You
fine
are.
job.
You are.
You're doing a
Yeah.
fine job.
No, you're doing great.
No.
Speaking of class and 100%, man, Pong, that was killer to listen to him. I really like it. It's one thing uh, to hear an artist speak about their art and and how they do it and everything like that, but then the artists that can go back and go through the history of their art and where it came from and how it's done in different places in the world, like glass blowing, right? Like he had such crazy knowledge that, I mean, it's one thing if you're a glass blower, but to have the knowledge of all these different places and how it was done throughout the years is like crazy. I can't really tell you how, a big truck was built years ago. Maybe I could. I don't know.
I bet you could if
Damn
you
it.
just
Yeah,
started
I know.
going down that rabbit hole.
I kind of just I talked
I'm
myself
like,
out of that point.
yeah, I know a lot of automotive history, and I only work on my
Okay.
own cars.
Fuck it. Forget it. I was trying to make a point and now I just screwed myself out of that. Never mind.
No, I'm with you though.
Yeah,
I
no.
definitely agree.
No, I mean, his knowledge was cool. Like the history of it all was like that was mind blowing. I really dig that when somebody can get deep in there, when they can say, for example, saying, "Oh, I use this kind of a brush when I paint oil on canvas," and the interesting reason why I use this brush is because, right, and they go right through it, and that's like,
Yeah,
wow, those are the details that I think are so cool. Maybe it's just nerding out. I don't know, a little
I
bit.
mean, I do it too though. I mean,
Yeah, true, you do. Well, I was there.
that's why we have so much fun in these spaces, is because we can just nerd out with all the artists about
Yeah.
their art that they want to nerd out about.
Well, dude, when he brought up portable trailers, right? And then of course I'm like, oh, you want to build a trailer? Like
Yeah.
who the hell else in the world would be excited about building a custom trailer? Only me.
Dude,
Well,
let's build some freaking trailers, man. I want to go on tour. Let's do this.
Right? Let's like
Yeah,
totally.
let's figure out like a mobile NFT studio gallery combo something. We'll just follow the sun
just
around the
just
world,
make
man.
just make sure it's got a bar that I can pour wine tastings at,
Well, duh.
and then we're in.
I was gonna say follow the sun. Mike,
Oh,
you want to follow the sun? Don't you? You live in Fort Lauderdale. Is there's not enough there?
no, there's plenty here, man. But there's
Okay,
only
man.
so many
Okay.
people.
But papers up in Michigan and
I mean, we want to do some traveling and hit all the spots.
No, I dig that.
The endless summer, dude. Um,
Yes, sir.
I'm more
yeah,
thinking
sure.
Point Break.
No, I said yes, yes, sir. Not yeah, sure.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. John Van Hammer was one of my is one of my big um, influences or inspirations. I guess the guy that did a whole bunch of screen prints, and he did the movie poster for the Endless Summer, and that's a fucking phenomenal movie or documentary by Bruce Brown. They did two of them. It was super cool. Now I'm nerding out.
No, so I've never seen it. It's on my list of infinite movies that I need to watch, along with The Godfather. But
I
there's
can't believe that.
yeah, I know.
You've never watched The Godfather,
No,
really?
I've never seen The Godfather. I've never seen A Christmas Story all the way through either. But that's because I've seen it so many times in parts. I don't care to see that one.
Well, you're a dad,
Anyways,
right? You got kids.
so I always, growing up in California, I always thought the endless summer was mostly about California. But then seeing the lifeguard towers and knowing the poster and seeing the lifeguard towers out in Miami, I'm starting to think it's a lot more about Florida now.
Oh no, I can give you the premise of the Endless Summer.
Yeah.
For sure. No, gosh, back in the '70s, so there were a couple surfers, and Bruce Brown, who was a surfer himself, but also a photographer and a filmographer or whatever. I don't know exactly what he'd done before. As far as documentaries go, but followed a couple surfers around the globe. Like they actually followed the summer all the way around and then surfed all the great spots around the world. Um, so it's the whole like kind of journey of that trip is the whole endless summer.
Okay. Then that's kind of what I thought. But then going back to the poster itself, do you know where the poster's inspiration comes from? Does it come from a specific spot or
I don't know. Is it like maybe Cape St. Francis, South Africa, or something? Where it was a sunset. I really don't know, but that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, because
Like
it's
the original poster when they're like the two guys with the longboards and the sunset. I'm thinking that might be South Africa actually.
okay. Because it's I mean it's always been regarded as one of the best documentaries ever, right? And the poster itself has always been like one of the most iconic movie posters of all time, up there with like the King Kong and Godzilla posters of the 20s and 30s.
Yeah. You can come across some in the summer swag like just about anywhere you go. You're right.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Actually, I
got
think
I got
I've seen. I don't know if it's the likeness of it on license plates down here in Florida. There's like some custom plates that have like an endless summer motif.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. See, okay, so just like I said, grew up in California, California beaches. I never got the California beach vibe from the poster, but I got the Florida beach vibe from the poster after going out to Florida for the first time. Does that
Okay,
make sense?
yeah. No, that does make sense, man.
So
I imagine it's open to interpretation is really, wouldn't it be?
It
It's
that's funny that you feel that way, because now that you say it, I kind of I can totally get that. Yeah, as far as like the colors and if it's a sunset or a sunrise, that's a question.
Whoa, dude. Whoa.
I never even thought about it that way. I was just,
Shoo.
but yeah.
And then the minds get blown.
Yeah, if it was a sunrise, yeah, South Florida, that's got all the. But if you look at like uh, South Africa, it's very similar to South
What would be a sunset, right?
Florida. Well,
South
it depends
Africa
on
would.
what side of the,
What's that?
or when I say like the southern tip of Africa, I don't know if it's interesting. That's cool, man. Well, the artist is still alive. I want to meet him one day. Let's
get him on space.
Let's
get him on the space.
Dude, reach out, get him on space.
Yeah, exactly. Let's find this out.
Yeah, Tefler on here, man.
Yeah.
Or Telfer, sorry.
Telfer.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
dude, that'd be great.
Hey, Mike, it was really interesting. So, and I don't know how the algorithm works. I'm sure it's possible that a person could listen for 5 seconds, but I'd like to believe that everybody listened all the way through. Your space was one of the first ones I popped up on YouTube to archive and keep for the ages. And last I looked on Friday, it had 5 listens. And it was the most listened to WX8BK space on YouTube.
Holy smoke. Are you talking about like when you guys interviewed me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm afraid to listen to that.
Well, I didn't listen to it. I've only listened to P0NG just to see if my computer audio was working for 2 minutes.
I listened to P0NG. I listened to that recording. Like what am I getting myself into? And
that was
I
Twitter,
just remember
though, right?
stumbling over everything and never completing a point or anything. But
I think,
dude, that's wild.
I think if you, well, we really haven't promoted it. I just like Willie and we record them, right, and then like off of Twitter, they're gone after 30 days or whatever it is. So I'm like, well, no, I've been recording them on my computer because I kind of wanted to learn from them originally. And then Willie's like, well, we need to do something with this. We should. So yeah, I've been putting them on YouTube. There's no video to it. Like, I think in your case, I put the piece, the NFT that you created for
the microphone.
The microphone for our DAO token contest. That's what's just sitting on the screen, but at least you can listen to them. And I think it's interesting what you said. That you don't think that you ever finished a thought or whatever. And I said that's where in my head I'm thinking, because I know I've listened to that interview 3 times, and you certainly did. I know we all hate to listen to ourselves, after we talk and speak.
Well, dude, I appreciate that, man, and I'm going to take your word for it.
You don't have to listen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
No, thank both of you guys. Holy smokes, man! I mean, I had been doing spaces, but definitely have never pitched myself or really talked about my own shit before you guys, and y'all made me feel so comfortable, and that's why I keep coming back.
Dude, here you are. We're at least at 5 months now. Well, when did we have? No shit, it's got to be longer. July. It was July when we had you on.
Whoa.
It was like June, I think.
June or July, yeah. I can't remember.
I don't know. There's a spreadsheet, man. You just don't use it.
Well, it's on. No. I know. I'm terrible with that.
You could have the spreadsheet open right now. It has all the past artists and their dates.
Oh no, computer
and the upcoming artists. Maybe we're not sure.
The computer shut me out. So I'm on my phone now. That's why I'm on the WX8BK, the bits one. It kicked bits out twice, and that's why I was like, okay, well, I'm done. I think it was because I was talking badly about Twitter earlier, and Twitter Spaces rugging us, and
as it made me leave 3 times.
Yeah, right. Like it was a bad space tonight, and that's all I can attribute it to. Maybe it's some voodoo. Twitter space voodoo. But then I did the good promotion for Elon Musk's batteries, right?
Yeah.
Remember? I did.
I only buy Tesla batteries.
I only buy Tesla. Shit, I laughed. We're gonna get kicked out again, probably. No, Mike. Every time that you say that you like that you appreciate us, like, man, we appreciate you. Like when you come in, I'm just gonna say this in like total layman's terms, but like when you come in technical. When you talk to our guests, you ask the questions that I wish that I knew how to articulate in the appropriate way. Like 100% you do. Like,
Damn, thanks,
yeah,
man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and Willie's technical as well. He's technical in a different way though. Like,
yeah, I
he's
want to engineer things.
He's a designer, that fucker.
Yeah, I don't know shit about the art side, but if there's something structural or civil or like if there's some sort of real world aspect to it, I want to figure that part out.
Absolutely. I was just
No,
noticing.
I like that. No, about Willie. I noticed that it's with both of you guys on the Proteon deal was the first one I listened to, and I was like, these guys are asking pretty hard questions for artists. Like you're really getting down to the nitty gritty, and you're not pulling punches. And I thought that was pretty rad. Like, and maybe it's the engineer, kind of looking at it and being like, well, how exactly did you do that? How exactly did that, happen? And it was really cool to see that and think about that and be able to explain the process that way. I thought that was really cool.
I think it's just being nerds. Let's just cut it down to the bare bones. We're just fucking nerds.
Yeah, I got to agree with that.
Yeah, we're just nerds. I love it all.
We just want to know the nitty gritty.
That's right.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's awesome, man. It means you care, and
like in your painting in the pines. How do you get the vertical stripes, the streaks, so like drippy looking?
Well, well, they are drips, and I painted it upside down.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, I actually clamped both of the. You saw the physical, right? It was,
and I own the NFT.
Yeah. So on the physical, on the original, I clamped the two pre-stretched canvases together and painted the whole thing upside down. So gravity did it.
Oh, see, this is the stuff I want to know, which you just answered. But like, was that an in-depth question? It didn't seem like an in-depth question to me, is all I'm saying.
Well, I mean,
it's just something I want to know.
It's awesome that you you care enough to ask a question like that, and it's like, holy shit, I do have something to say about this.
Okay.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're like giving me like reason and material to talk about. Something that I wouldn't think about maybe.
No, I was like when you say we ask the nitty gritty questions, it's usually like a bad thing. That like we're rude or something about it. But
no, but just like
I didn't.
Just no, not at all, man. No, just like kind of cutting through
the surface, cut through the BS.
It's the couch talk.
Yeah.
No, I love it, man. I think it's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. I was actually thinking, Mike, I think that I just have to take a trip where I'm just going to like cruise down and come and hang with you for 3 days outside of everything. Like, I just want to come in the crow's nest. I'll just come out of the hustle and bustle. You can take me out for fucking gator bites and fucking, I'll sweep up the floor and make coffee in the morning.
Dude, you gotta see the crow's nest, man.
You got to see the crow's nest because there's no sweeping going on here. It's basically all vacuum. Carpet. Yeah,
it's a deep pile carpet. It's a
it really is. Yeah, bathrooms as well, man.
You just think about it's my single wide in the sky. I mean, it's
dude, I love it.
it's like grandma's basement.
Nah, dude, that's like a triple wide in the sky. I mean, that's nice. There's a lot of space up there.
Yeah, it's nice.
Thank you. Yeah, no, yeah, it is super nice, and but it's wild how it's decorated and how it's kind of been
It's a trip, dude.
stuck in history because
it's character.
nobody used this place for like years and years. So like there's no Energy Star appliances at all. Like everything.
Wait,
like,
this was a green space. You have to leave now.
Yeah, it's rough, dude. Yeah, the utility bill's crazy. But it is wild, man. Yeah, it's nuts. And it's grown on me, and it's like, man, I really would like to put tile down. At least in some spots.
Like the bathroom.
Yeah, like the hygienic thing to do, I guess. But yeah, it's nuts. It's wild. I don't know what else can you say.
I was looking at booking accommodations for next year for Art Basel already. It made sense. Who was that brought that up last week? Somebody had mentioned about it, and I was like, "Oh
Empress?
yeah, why did?" No,
NB.
It was the gummy NB. That's right.
Yeah,
it was NB. Yeah, that's right.
It was like, yeah, dude, like go ahead and start making plans, and he's actually like kind of setting up shop just north of me in Boca, I think, right now, kind of doing that. Like,
do you know him, Mike? Have you met him?
No, but one of my very first, like when I first got into Tezos, I bought a couple pieces from an artist, and he approached me and wanted to buy them. Like, this was the first time that anybody had ever approached me to buy anything that I hadn't listed, and it was him, and I was like, and it was weird to me just because it never happened. So I looked through the wallets and stuff, and I was like, well, you already own like a few of these, and then it was like, and it was the first time that I realized the concept of buying all the additions to burn down to make it a 101. And that was NB, and I was like,
he was buying pieces of yours.
Holy shit,
No.
that's
He was buying
cool.
pieces that I had collected from another artist. He came to me. It's like, so he was like, I want the only one that owns this, and so I had an edition. So he approached me to like get that edition off.
I had never even thought of that.
And that was my first whole experience with that whole concept. And then I was into the dude's art, like the stuff that he had actually created, and ended up trading him the piece for one of his pieces, which was like a super Miami-esque image of like a Lamborghini, like a Countach, like an old Countach.
Like a nice 90s image.
Yeah, it was like pink and turquoise.
Classic
Man, I
in
think
Miami.
I still own it, because I just felt like it was like a pivotal moment in my whole like education in this space. And it's cool to be on a space with the guy. I don't even know if he remembers that. I should have brought it up, but I was just thinking about that today.
I kind of want to have him on again, because I like the dude. He seemed well articulated in things that I didn't know I wanted to hear about.
Yeah, exactly. I had no idea who he was until he came into our space. Like,
well, the gummy bears. The gummy bear.
Yeah, I think we saw him on the screen at the factory.
Yeah, I think that's where it was. But then there was also the Ferrari. He said he had the Ferrari driving around with, and that might have been it as well. But anyways, yeah, no, I'd like to have him back on.
Yeah, he seemed like a cool dude.
Yep.
Who the hell are you talking about? NB?
Yeah.
Who's that? Just the letters N and B?
Yeah, just NB.
Nancy Bravo?
No,
Nancy Bravo.
what the? Oh, I'm going to put it into my thing here. Hang on. It was
Fancy Dancy?
Fancy
No,
Dancy?
there's no fancy dances.
Come on.
Come on, guys. I thought we've been through this. No. Just like...
You've said fancy dancy as much as I've said fancy dancy tonight.
I love it.
Dude, I'm gonna bring you a fucking bedazzled jean jacket that says fancy dancy next time I come down to visit.
Woo-wee. I
Right?
can't wait. I'll tell you, I'll wear it. I'll wear it to go get Gator Bites, man.
Oh.
We'll nail some dollars on the wall.
Oh,
I'm gonna write fancy dancy on my dollar next year.
Bedazzle that. I mean, you got to one up Lou with his origami.
Yeah.
I mean, we could bedazzle some dollars. We could get them all pre-made.
There you go.
So NB Lou, in case you haven't found it, it is Noah Bolanowski.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Good dude. Been around for a really long time.
Traditional and digital art collector, auto enthusiast. Interesting.
Sounds like a guest for the night train to me.
Fuck yeah, dude. Like, I mean, he came out of nowhere, and then he's like, well, no, I said, well, thanks for coming in. You've never been here before. I don't know who you are, right? And he's like, well, I know Paper Buddha and whoever else was on that night. I was like, cool. He was very knowledgeable. All right, there we go. See, that's what I said at the beginning of this space. Man, like Willie, like in Miami, we had people that were like, we want to come on your space. And then it's just been amazing. The support and the forward momentum of the night train is just like awesome. I was trying to find a word for, I wanted to use a better word than forward momentum, but that's what came out. 2 words instead of 1.
Just momentum, I think.
Just momentum. Yeah, that would have been better, right? 100%.
Yeah. All right. We know what you're saying.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I was too busy looking at these pointers that Lou posted, and it says pointers, but all I see is lightsabers, which is all my kids would see.
Yes,
so,
they're weapons, right?
I definitely don't need those in my house. I appreciate the offer, Lou, but I definitely do not need those in my house.
I'm looking at Alexis Hartwell pieces, and because I was thinking back to the whole, well, you could just buy them all so that you're the only, and burn them down so you have one-on-ones.
Okay.
Yeah. So
are there some that we could burn down? Because, like, if there's a couple, I know me and you own 2/5 of a lot of them.
Well, you got to be quick.
We could trade.
You got to be quick because I'm looking at
one.
Mike Nash is like he's on this shit like fly on fly tape. I see that Mike Nash right here, right? Fly on fly tape.
Oh, Mike's been sweeping floors this week.
I know.
He says come up to the nest to sweep my floors, but he's been the one cleaning up Tezo's floors all week.
Oh man,
he's not one of those people.
On Mike Nash.
He's not one of those people that we talked about at the beginning of the space, right? When we saw the numbers that everybody was sharing.
Not.
No, dude, the guy.
Dude, I saw my numbers today. I haven't shared anything, but holy moly, there's some wild numbers. I don't know whether to be excited or embarrassed, but yeah, it's wild. It's kind of cool that all that information's available on chain, and there's a lot of tools out there that'll give that to you. But it was kind of cool to do the whole year-end thing, kind of like Spotify does with your songs. I was listening to my 2022 songs today.
Oh, nice.
So the difference between the tools and the object putting it out there is because the way Object put it out there, it like Spotify, it encouraged everybody to tweet it, right?
Yeah,
So it
I
encouraged.
think it even populated the tweet for you. I think,
Oh
and there
yeah,
were a couple opportunities where you could just hit
yeah,
tweet. I think.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So it made it so easy, and then everybody just shared it. Everyone's just like, here's my numbers. Like you didn't have to go digging through wallets. You didn't have to pull your tools up. You didn't have to find wallet. You didn't have to You didn't have to get from domain names to the actual full address to put in your tools. To, you know what I mean? Like they just shared it, and it's just here it is. And it's like I don't know if I would have shared that if I was you on a couple of them that I
Some
saw.
people, yeah, but whatever.
But for the most part, I mean, for the most part, it's
Did you see
it's all good.
Near Run was like in my top 5. I was pretty
You
happy with that.
Oh, of you collecting?
Yeah, for collecting. Sorry, yeah, in the collecting bracket. I did almost 1.9 in purchases, 1.9 thousand in the last, and it says within the last year, but it's like, well, I didn't even start fucking Tezos until when did WagMe fire up? When did WagMe Wine fire up? March?
March maybe?
Yeah. So that's 2,000 since March.
Well, as soon as Pope tweeted the Wagme Wines like from the creator side,
Yeah.
I went, oh yeah, this is only on chain. This is the only stuff that's on book. This isn't anything that's off book. This isn't form buys. This isn't back in deals. You know,
Yeah.
because I'm like,
No, for sure.
I didn't make the top 5 on this. That's bullshit.
See, but that's where your tools would come in, right?
Yeah.
Well, it would be interesting in that project between you, Mike Vandy.
Me and Scrappy Cook are the top holders.
Yeah.
But as far as the top buyers, I don't know. It probably is closer to like Butternut, Scrappy, Vandy. Because I've been a lot more strategic, if you will. I've had a lot more luck in like buying 1 or 2 pieces here or there that I.
Yeah, you're kind of you've had a pretty good mindset from the beginning, and you've just played a little differently.
Well, I've had help.
You've had a goal.
I've had a secret team that's been helping me. So
Yeah, and you've had a goal. I think your goal has been straight from the beginning is the right goal. My wine just showed up yesterday, so it's at the depot. It's at the shipping depot. My wine is there.
Oh yeah,
which is yeah.
That's probably sounds like a great time to ship yourself some intent wine.
Well, dude, that's what I was asking you last week. We just got to talk about this. Like, we'll talk about this off space, but yeah, no, I want some wine. Like literally going to the cabin right now is going to be because I want to go pick up my wine this time, right? Like, but we'll see. This weekend the weather is supposed to be a little shitty, so I've kind of gotten to the point now with going to the cabin. Like if it's going to be like super cold or super blizzardy or something, like it's not worth going. So I'm going to keep my eye on the radar and make it a game day decision on Friday. But yeah, I'm going to go get my wine. Wagme Wine. For those who don't know, play the game because worst case scenario, you get wine delivered to your door. You can gift it or you can drink it.
In 20 or 45 states. There's 5 states you can't ship to.
Oh, right. So I imagine it doesn't go to Alaska, it doesn't go to Tennessee or Kentucky.
I know Oklahoma's one.
Okay.
Pretty sure Kentucky. I think Vermont. Don't quote me on any of this. This is off the top of my head.
This is not shipping advice for getting your wine shipped.
One or both of the Dakotas and Utah. Definitely Utah.
Alaska's got to be in there too, I'd imagine.
I don't think so.
Well, I guess because Alaska's kind of like for you guys, like Alaska's like fucking the Texas of the North.
Yeah, it's not about the shipping cost. It's about just can they legally ship there.
The laws.
Yeah, but if you're in Alaska, there may be additional shipping costs or Hawaii.
No, I don't think
Puerto
so.
Rico.
I don't think they would. They've never said that. We don't have anybody that lives there.
Right.
And they're
But I'm
no,
saying,
I
like,
don't.
if anyone's listening now, I don't know.
Yeah, I get. Well, yeah, we don't run the game. We're just players.
Right.
Well, I'm not a player. Will it be a player? But I'm just fucking. I play the game. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to go and pick that up this weekend. I might. I kind of really want to. It would be nice.
Yeah, I got to unbox mine so that I can make a tweet about it because I got a great tweet for the sixth label artist based on the first five label artists and wine bottles.
Nice. Did you with the shipment? Did you get the Proteon and the Carla Ganis?
I was supposed to get threes, Make It Rad, Carla Ganis,
Oh,
and Proteon all in this shipment.
right. See, that was funny. Greg Poke Shaman, he reached out to me and he's like, "Hey, man, like, are you gonna get anything? Like, I can put you in right now." And I was like, "Dude, I didn't even think about that." It's like even this last round, I didn't think to burn the wine labels to get entries onto the wheels and to collect wine at the same time. Like I didn't even process that this round. Like I just
Well, you had
and I
a
was like,
lot going on this last round.
yeah, I did, but it was like, holy fuck, dude, yes. Then I'm like, hang on a minute. So I went back through and I'm like, okay, I'll take 6 bottles. Like, and then I'm like, and he's like, well, do you want Proteon and Carla Ganis? And I said, no, just give me 6 bottles of Carla, and because Proteon will still be valid for the next round. And I said, I'll just use it like in the next round as a game piece, right? Like you got to give it that double when you have those wine labels, you got to give it that double utility.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I did. I
to
didn't
burn
burn
it.
a single label that wasn't necessary or I didn't get something else for it.
Yeah, no, and I know, and I totally fucking. So, anyways, I burnt 6. I got 6 Carlas coming to me, and I got the red and the white. So I still get the red and the white, but I just got the Carla Ganis label. And then I think Proteon. I think I'm just going to go hard and burn all of those and whatever I have because I just want them. Goddamn Proteon, for Christ's sakes. He didn't come in tonight. I didn't see him tonight.
Yeah, he hasn't been in for the last couple of weeks.
I thought he was in last week.
He's been busy and very stressed lately.
Oh,
his video card died today, and
I know. $2,000.
I was trying to find him a new one, but I don't think I've got a new one for him.
Those kids, these
Unfortunately.
kids nowadays, man, I tell you, you and your video cards, goddamn. I remember back in the day. I remember back in the day when, like, if you spent like $150 on a video card, dude, you were getting the shit. And then he was like, "Yeah, it's $2,000," and I'm like, "Holy!" But that's the thing. I mean, when you're making pieces like he makes, like you either buy that video card or you melt your video card down when you try to process this stuff, or it takes you 2 weeks, right? Like
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys remember the movie The Headless Horseman. Was that it? Right. I mean, it was Johnny Depp, right?
Yep.
Like late 90s, mid 90s, something like that. Anyways,
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Okay, so it was right around the era of PlayStation 1, and friend of the family used to work for Industrial Light and Magic, who was doing the effects for that movie at the time. So we're all sitting around the dinner table at Thanksgiving, and he's telling us about, about working on this movie and the processing and stuff. And he goes, we'd go to render a scene, like a 3-minute scene. He goes, the rendering would take all night. He goes, so what we would do, because what we do is we just sit there and play PlayStation all night next to the computer while the scene's rendering. And like the reason this kind of came up is because we were playing Gran Turismo, like, I don't know, I'm like 12 or 14 or something like that. And we're back in the back room playing Gran Turismo. And he's in there like showing us all the tricks. And he's like, you got to use this car, tune it to this, blah, blah, blah. Like, he knows how to beat like all these games. And we're like, how the fuck do you know all this? So then we're sitting at the dinner table and he's telling us about, rendering this movie and just sitting there playing PlayStation all night. And I'm like, that's my dream job. That's exactly what I want to do.
Dude, that sounds amazing. Hell yeah, man. I fucking
Let
love
it
Gran
render.
Turismo too. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
That was
whenever I
that
hear
was,
anything about like render or anything like that, like I always think about that story and like oh yeah, fuck yeah. And I used to like it was only like I don't know 5 or 6 years after that I was kind of doing the same thing, like where I was processing drawings for that had like massive imagery in the background, and I'd be processing them to print, and the print jobs would take like 6 8 hours to print like 12 drawings. And but I'd have to sit there and basically babysit the printer at work. So I would sit there and like any kind of portable. I mean, this is a while back, but like so I'd take like magazines and books in and fucking read books and like listen to my iPod and shit while I'm rendering drawings. I'd go get on other people's computers, fuck around on the internet.
these are the good jobs that people look for.
Yeah.
I was
That's awesome, man. Hell
I
yeah.
was gonna say, we were just talking. You were just talking about movies, and I was like randomly popped into my head. So when I was zoned out on the couch on Saturday, just finished walking the dog, and I laid down, turned the TV on, and The Bodyguard was on, and it was just starting, and I watched it all, man. I watched Whitney Houston and The Bodyguard, like it was Kevin Costner. Shit, dude. I
It's a
can't
great
believe I
movie.
watched it. It is a good movie, and that's why I watched the whole thing.
I
But it's
think
like
it's
at the
still
end,
like the number one selling soundtrack of all time,
oh, I'm sure it is. Oh
which
man, I
is
used to
one of the
hate
number
that.
one selling albums of all time.
Yeah, I used to hate playing
Yeah,
that song.
there's a wild story I learned about that when I was in school. One of the writers of the song that I guess originally wrote it for Dolly Parton, I think, of the "I'll Always Love You" song, um, didn't realize that it had been picked up by the movie house, or that it had become so popular, and like went to the mailbox and found a royalty check for I don't know, like close to a million
Couple
bucks or something.
million.
Yeah, like the first check that came in, and didn't even realize that it had gotten picked up. I always remember that. I was like, man, one day maybe some royalties will roll in. I don't know.
You got some recordings out there we don't know about?
I've got stuff on BMI. Yeah, I've got. Yeah,
Go
there's
go Sergio.
things out there. And actually, I've got like this whole EP of um, kind of really plasticky, poppy, uh, skate, post punk, pop rock or something. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's very well produced and it's recorded and it's never been officially released. And I was thinking, man, it'd be so cool to make it an NFT project and it's kind of like um, animate the members of this 3-piece band, kind of like the Gorillas type deal, and
Hell
to
yeah.
make it a whole deal. So yeah, I mean that's something I might need to get some animators and some illustrators, because I don't know if it's unless it's a band of really choppy skateboarding skeletons. I don't know if I can do it, but
Do it, man. Do it, Chuffy skateboarding skeletons.
yeah, but yeah,
You
dude.
animate all
Yeah, I
your
got
own
stuff
gifs
out
for
there.
all your NFTs.
But I'm really looking forward to starting to do some collaborations with other musicians, like in different locations, and laying down a bass track and then sending it to like JBurn to like throw some vocals on, and and then sending it to Geek to like throw some crazy LCD sound system beats over it, or whatever. So yeah, I'm looking forward to creating new stuff. But yeah, that's like that's an idea of mine. Maybe we can make it happen this year to do do the Gorillas thing. It's like 5 songs, kind of Blink 182 stuff.
You lost me at Blink 182.
Yeah. No, it's I don't even know.
No,
I
man,
think Lou's actually
awesome.
heard it. I think. If you're still there.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
No, I don't know, something.
Oh, Lou's still
I was carrying some stuff. You're talking Go-Go Sergio?
Sure. Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
The project that I was talking about animating and illustrating was it was that one.
Killer.
Saggio.
Sorry.
Sergio, I love it. No, that's cool. Oh, okay. Anyway.
But it's not like it's not on Spotify